you see my screen, so you can see what I'm doing. So it just leaves it all like this. So whatever the defaults are. Say OK, and now nothing, and as expected. But now, oh look, there I am, and you're not there. Okay, hang on guys, and now I'm going to take audio output capture and take it away and bring it back. And when I bring it back, you'll be able to hear Amanda. That's my guess. Not yet. You're not back. All right. Okay, now you're back. I think you should be available now. Talk.
Hey y'all.
There you are. They can be heard now. Yep. There we go. Nice. So this is a different kind of stream, and Amanda and I are going to show you some different kinds of things tonight. First things we're going to do is we're going to actually take a little tour of the observatory. We have a camera sitting right over there on its mount, and we're going to take the camera over here and we're going to bring it over and show you guys everything that is going on inside the building here. So hang on one second while I do that, and I don't want to step on anything because it'll destroy stuff, as we discovered. And before I do that, let me first go over and see if I get the music back now. I'd love to know if I got my music back. And we shall see. And there's another problem.
Oh, your audio just really broke up.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just great. I wonder if it's
all right now.
All right, I wonder if it was just...
I think it just seems like since you brought up the playlist.
Interesting.
Because I can't read anything on the screen.
Really?
On the slow ambient, yeah, it's all really pixelated. Okay, it's coming through now.
Okay, and that's interesting because I don't actually see anything happening. Hang on, guys, hang in with me. I don't see. I might have see. I had to redo a lot of. I had to redo the entire machine. Had to totally bring it back up to speed because it was not working. All right, so okay. I don't know why that's not working. Yeah. All right, so now the music's not working either, but that's okay. We'll have to go without it.
That's okay. People are here to hear you anyway.
Baloney. They're here to hear you.
As if.
Okay, so let's do something here. I had this up earlier. I was actually, where'd it go? Wow. Okay, it went away. Oh, boy,
I saw it for a second.
Yeah, there was the Lagoon Nebula up there. I had been using it earlier, and I think that might have been a buffer. We're actually looking out of the dome right now, and we're looking at just make sure that my stream is healthy. I just want to make sure I don't have any problems. Yeah, it says it's healthy. This is actually that. There's a bright object you can see in the sky there, and I'll show that to you more directly in just a second. That is not what I want you to see. What I want you to see is over here. Okay, that is Mars.
How exciting is that?
Well, it's in the sky, obviously, and when I zoom in, of course, this is only the small camera. This is not on the telescope. The camera has got a little telephoto on it. All right, and we can actually, we can set the ISO sensitivity to actually go up a little higher if we want to, and then like do a like this. This is a this is at 51,200. We can go even higher, and that would be crazy, of course. But you know, that shows us that it's in focus and everything's fine. Then we come out, and now the mode that we're going to be in, I just have to check this out on the camera here. The mode we want to be in is, I believe, this guy. It's like a standby mode, and if I choose to increase my sensitivity, I should be able to still do that. Alright, and this is going to be the one we're going to use tonight, because we are going to be hunting for the meteors. It is the night for the Persians, of course, or one of the nights, and I'm going to be moving the camera around to the north. And I'm going to move the camera this way. I basically just decided to bring it out. Let's try it this way. So this is the northeastern sky, and if I go up a little bit, okay, you can see that we're looking straight at a constellation you all should know, which I don't think you will, but it's Cassiopeia. You see the W? You see the W, Amanda?
No.
It's in the center of the screen.
I never see anything. Well, I see the cluster of stars, but
Yeah, see that?
okay, I see. Okay, it was the one on the far left I couldn't see.
Yeah, that's the faintest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it totally disappears when you pull it out.
yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I can actually, if we look at this, you know, we're actually watching the sky where the Perseid will be, and it's early still for the Perseid, but we're trying it out, you know. But before we actually sink into doing a watch of just that, I want to do this. I'm going to take the camera off the mount for a sec, and I'm going to kind of give you a little look around so you can see where we are. Okay, first of all, we're inside the dome. Let me give us a little focus here. Alright, so we're going to focus.
I think this is cool. We don't usually get to see inside the dome.
No, we don't. You know,
so.
That's cool. So, I turned on my red light. You can see the camera system, computer system are down there. And these are obviously fundamental to the observatory. The controlling system is here. I use this system here to control everything that's going on in the dome. Alright, and it's actually a Sky program that's actually built in to my observatory now. This is the telescope. You can see it's a gigantic pier which goes down into the floor. Alright, and it goes down into the floor because, and you'll notice also that it's isolated from, it's isolated. I can't, if we look at it, you'll see that I'm actually, there's a hole around the center of that pier. And I can stomp in here all I want, and it won't affect anything. The telescope won't shake or anything because this is what's called, this is a pier that's vibrationally isolated from the rest of the system. So the telescope sits here, and let me get us up a little more here. Alright, and when we look, you'll see banding, by the way, when you see these little bands in the light. That's because of the fact that I'm using a LED headlamp, and it doesn't like that. The camera has a problem with LED lighting, which it should. Anyway, so here's the telescope. I'm just going to focus a little more if I can. Let me get a little closer so I can focus. Okay, now you can zoom out. So this is the system right here. There's the new telescope mounted on top of the regular telescope, and the total combined weight of that entire system now is, you know, this is up over my head. So I'm looking up at it now, and The whole system weighs around, I'd say, probably up to just over 300 pounds with everything we have up there. Okay, and that's why we need a computer to control it all. Because without the computer to control it all, we would, be stuck trying to do it all manually, and that's not good. But we have our own red light inside the dome, so if I turn my red light off, we have a red light inside the dome, but then you wouldn't be able to see everything else unless I let the camera do its, faint light stuff, which is fine. All right, and as we look out into the night, you can see we're looking through the slit. And if we look straight up, then we see that star over there, that's Altair, and that is the constellation of Cygnus up there. Let me try and...
Cygnus, this one.
You got it. And let me see if I can make that a little more clear. So you can see Altair is the star over to the right. Okay, right there. Okay.
Ooh, that's so convenient.
Deneb is the bright star in Cygnus there. Then the center star, and then the end star, so the outside of Cygnus, the Northern Cross, and then the end star. That little star right there. Okay. That guy right there. That's Albireo. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Yeah, Albireo is the end star. And I can't show it to you right now, but it's right there. Right there. Where are we? Right there is Albireo. Now, we look at that beautiful double star from time to time. And together, these three stars, okay, which is this one, Deneb, and that's Vega, right there. And then Altair together.
I love Vega.
Yeah. And then Altair over there. Altair, Vega, and Deneb each make up what's called the summer triangle, and you can see that triangle right there. And that's it. That's the summer triangle.
I love that we can see you pointing at them.
Well, I needed to do something, right? I mean, you don't want to just, have to be interactive, right? And now, if we come down from that and we head toward the north, okay, now we're looking out toward the northeast, all right? And if I move the dome around, let's see, we go over here and look this way. What we did is we went from the northeast with Deneb right there and Cygnus the Swan right there, okay, going like that. Now we're moving over to, there's my shed over there, and I'm looking this way now, and now we're seeing this. And what we're seeing here is, let me just focus a little better. Now we're seeing that's the Big Dipper.
Yes, I was going to say that.
And I'm glad, because it's exactly right. All right, and there's the Big Dipper. So, let me...
And what is that an asterism of?
It's actually an asterism within the constellation of Ursa Major, the Great Bear. The Big Bear. Now, this camera... Is the
Little Dipper in there too?
No, actually, I'll show you where that is, okay? The Little Dipper, okay, you actually see the... Let me turn on the light here. The dipper, here's the dipper right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the handle goes like this. Okay, so there's the dipper right there. And those two end stars in the dipper, okay, that you see right here, they point right up to the North Star, which is right there. That's the North Star. And that's not what my telescope is aligned to, because the North Star is not right on the North Pole. It's pretty convenient, but it's not right on the North Pole. I'm going to focus on it now a little better. Okay, there we go. So, what we're looking at, though, is we're looking at the Little Dipper, which is right here. Okay, those are the two end stars of the Little Dipper. All right, and those two end stars of the Little Dipper have the rest of the dippers here, and then it curls down to the North Star. Circles like this, over to that, and then over to the Big Dipper. Now, that's north. So now if we start to look to the northeast, this camera, of course, is very powerful. We can turn night into day with this camera. That is why it looks the way it does. Okay. and so it looks much brighter than it really is. Tonight's not a good night for Milky Way, although we can see the Milky Way a little bit. I can't really point it out too easily, which is kind of too bad, because I'd love you to see it. I've shown it to people before. And maybe if I'm wondering if I can, there's a way to do this here. I don't think so. Well, that's okay. But for tonight, I think it's just good to be able to see what we're seeing, you know. So now, I'm actually now recording what we're seeing. And you can see that's Cassiopeia there. There's the W of Cassiopeia. And I can point that out too. You see it's here. It's like 1, 2, 3, okay, and then 4, and then 5. All right, see that? And that's in the northeastern sky. Perseus is down there, still in the murk. But you know, it's kind of fun to actually to check it out. Now here from inside the dome, you know, it's going to preserve our camera a little longer. We're going to have you know, drier optics for a lot longer than we might otherwise. You know, and the telescope sitting here, of course, this telescope needs no introduction. This is the SkyTour LiveStream telescope we've been using for over a year now. And I'm just going to flip out the battery and flip in a new one here. And so the screen will go dark momentarily. There's the dark. And then...
Don't anyone be scared.
I know, don't be afraid of the dark. Yeah, okay, so that battery's out. And now we're going to put in the next battery. My son was borrowing it for a film project, and as usual, he didn't charge my batteries up. And we should be coming back here momentarily. And here we are. So now, like I said, that's our control station. This is our telescope here. Comes up the telescope itself. And I mean, I could do white light too, kind of bright, you know, and then it ruins my night vision. But this is the nicety of this, because this is totally hands-on, totally automated. I run it from over there. I don't even touch the telescope. You know, I could, and I have, but I don't often touch it. So let's bring the camera back to the tripod. Set it on the tripod. Yeah.
So people are saying that the audio is being doubled, that they're hearing an echo. Because
here we go. Echo. Yeah, I might know why, and I will see if I can get rid of it. Just a second. I gotta get what else up here. So great. It's all about sky. And we hear that with an echo. All right. Let me see if I fix that. You guys want sky? I'm going to get rid of.
Oh, they're saying it was just since you pulled the battery.
Really?
Yeah.
It's happening again? Yeah, let me know if you still hear it, guys. I can imagine why that might be because I'm trying to...
They're saying that, well, John says that they think maybe it went to mono, but it just started coming in from a few people, and now they're both saying, or well, John and Daryl are saying, as soon as you pulled the battery out, put it back in. So.
All right. I'm going for.
And apparently it's just you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everybody. Please bear with us. We're working on it.
Yeah, no worries. Okay.
No, but I mean, these are things we need to know, so.
Yeah, it is. It's true. Let's see now. Well, like I said,
welcome to live radio.
Yeah, you guys keep looking. Hey, I think while I'm searching for this, Maybe you can tell people what we're going to talk about Sunday on SkyTour KGRA.
Ooh, good idea. Nothing like putting me on the spot.
I know. You're good at that.
I know. Well, fake it till you make it, right?
It's not fake it. You know exactly what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, for those of you that joined us last week on KGRA.com, or KGRAradio.com, I should say, you would have heard Science by Accident. We're going to be continuing with part 2 of that. It's going to be Astronomy by Accident.
That's right.
And instead of last week, we had things like Vaseline and microwaves and stuff, and this time it's going to be more outer space based.
That's right. It's going to be all astronomy by accident. And I actually hear this echo in my ear too from might be coming from camera. Trying to find the setting to shut off recording. But we can still watch.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, at least it's a beautiful view while we're
waiting for me to. I don't have to just like fiddle with the camera. Show you what's going on. You can just enjoy. Okay. And all right. Now the echo should be gone.
Okay, and give them about 30 seconds and talk a little more and let them hear.
I will. But I'm guessing the echo is gone. It was a standard issue problem that can happen with the camera associated with the HDMI output to the computer. I think I fixed it. And if someone says they can still hear me echoing, I'm going to close down and
twice.
I'll scream twice. Yeah, no. You know what? I'll tell you this, guys. We chose to go with the camera tonight. Not because there's anything wrong with the telescope. I want to have the telescope's ready. It can show you stuff. Trouble is, it's not a good night for the telescope, at least not now. That could change. As the night wears on, it could get a little better. So I actually have what's called a dew cap on the end of the telescope that prevents the moisture from getting on there. And what I'm doing now is I'm actually covering up the telescope to preserve it even further. Because the longer you have it exposed to the cool, moist air, the more moisture falls on there and ends up causing a problem. I assume the echo is gone, is it?
The echo is gone.
There we go. Very good.
Thank you, everybody. Every time you say dew cap, I think your telescope is wearing a little bandana.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I used to when I had brain surgery some years ago, and they had to shave my head, and so I wore a bandana on my head for months. I look like Nick Redfern. Because Nick Redfern is a big bandana guy. Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, he owns his own magazine publishing company, or?
Well, he writes a lot of books. Yeah, and Nick's a researcher, a tireless researcher, a wonderful guy. And I look forward to seeing him again pretty soon, actually. There's at least one conference coming up where I should be able to see him, I think. I have 2 coming up. This month, I mentioned this before to you guys, I was supposed to be in Norway, but that fell through only because the organizer's family member got sick. And it was just too much for them to put it on with everything going on. So I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, and then the other thing that was supposed to happen was I was supposed to go. I was going to go, or I am actually. Okay, let me back up. Okay, I backed up. I'm sorry. I'm doing 6 things at once. That's why I sometimes lose track of things. All right, September. I'm going to Devil's Tower, where I'm going to be speaking again at the Devil's Tower UFO Rendezvous. The difference is this time I'm humbled, but they asked me to be the keynote speaker. So
Yay!
that's going to be kind of fun. And then I'm going to be seeing all my friends. I actually have helped them, set up and get a lot of speakers, for their event. I think that's really important. It's a good event, and I want to see it go. So, and then after that event in October, early October, there was a conference in Leominster, Massachusetts, the New England UFO Conference. It's hosted by Susan Spooler and Willie Miranda. And I was on Willie's radio show not too long ago. And they asked me to be the keynote speaker. So I'm going to be doing a talk there as well, which is going to be kind of cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then at the end of October, from the 27th until November 6th, I'm going to be in Arizona, because on the 26th through November 6th, because I'm going to be giving a talk for the Phoenix Mutual UFO Network group. Probably they have a very good business model. They're probably the best planned out MUFON organization out there, in my view, and they do a great job. And if I'm slighting anybody else, it's only because I don't know about your capabilities. But I think that that said, after I do that talk, I'm doing that on the 27th. Then on the 2nd and 3rd of November, I'm teaching a boot camp out there. I'll be one of the instructors for the boot camp for field investigators for the Mutual UFO Network, looking how to do certain things, learn about astronomy. You saw the little tour of the sky I was giving with my hand pointing and stuff like that. We're going to do that with lasers to make it a little bit easier, and people are going to learn about the night sky, learn about things that look like they're really odd in the night sky but aren't. They have explanations, satellites and International Space Station. And from where we are in Arizona, it's horizon to horizon Milky Way. It's stunning. And the first thing you do when you see the sky, even me, who's seen these skies so many times, the first thing I do is just stop and stare. I look up and I just stare. I can't take my eyes off the sky. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And I can't stop looking at it. It's beautiful. So that said, that's going to be October and November. Actually, tomorrow night I'm doing another presentation. I forgot. And I've been working on the presentation all day today and getting ready for them tomorrow. Because I do the What on Earth TV show, and I've been in many of the seasons for that show, and then NASA's Unexplained Files. I had a group ask me if I'd come in and speak about some of the more interesting cases that I've had within What on Earth. So I've been putting together some strange cases that are really cool, and so they'll hear about it tomorrow. But I'll give you guys a sneak peek about what I'll say. The neat things that I've seen, they gave me some cases that were really cool that actually had real life repercussions. One of them was a story called Sinister Shores. And in this story, there was this island in the South China Sea that didn't have anything on it. And then suddenly there was this buildup of massive forces, and no one understood what it was and what they were. And so I got the satellite imagery from them, and I analyzed the imagery to figure out what it was they were looking at on these beaches on this shore of this island. And it turns out we were looking at Chinese missile launchers. They were in little triads of three, and I was able to identify the specific launcher and its range and who they might be targeting. And it wasn't good. And shortly after that aired, I think it was last year that aired, the Chinese bugged out and left the island. Now, was it because of that show? I don't know. Because if I saw it, most likely analysts also saw it. But, be honest with you, people can't see everything. They don't see everything. And so sometimes, you are the person that finds something. I don't know if I was, but that was a cool story. Then another one was one that was purported to be the Loch Ness Monster. And indeed, it looked like a plesiosaur swimming beneath the surface of Loch Ness. And it looked gorgeous. It was beautiful. But then I realized this was taken from Google Earth. And see, that's a problem, because Google Earth, the images of the loch are stitched together from multiple images. So knowing that, I ended up having to recant my thoughts a little bit. And as it turned out, it wasn't the actual Loch Ness monster. It was actually the wake of a boat that had been basically stitched out. You found the wake, but then the boat itself was stitched over with a piece of the lake. Now, it wasn't intentional. It's just a robotic stitching process. And so when that happened, there was just nothing that was mysterious after that, unfortunately.
Is there going to be a way we can watch? Is that going to be streamed anywhere, your talk tomorrow?
No, it's for a private group.
Yeah.
But the public is welcome, but they've got to go there to see it.
And where is it?
It's in Torrington, Connecticut, and it's on the Litchfield Hills Amateur Astronomy Club website. Litchfield, LHAAC.org, I believe. And anyone that wants to go can go. It's a public talk. Public's always invited.
Okay,
in
so
fact,
if anyone's in the area.
Yeah, they invited people from all over Connecticut, actually, for this. So it'll be nice. I did a talk for them a few weeks ago, actually. And it was I was humbled. The room was full. They didn't have enough chairs, and people were standing, and I felt bad. So I, instead of sitting down on my little chair by the podium, I didn't even use the podium. I used my own voice, no microphone, because I figured I can get out there. And I actually got out into the audience and stayed out with them and talked to them from inside of them about the whole thing. And I did the talk that way. And people liked that better because it was more personal, and I think that's important. And that's something that you don't see. People depend on these podiums, and I hate podiums. I absolutely hate podiums because they hide you from your audience. It's like a little crutch. It's like, I don't need a crutch. I want to be out there with them.
I was just thinking I would want to hide behind a podium.
No, I don't.
I would never want to do a public speaking event in the first place, so.
Well, you know what I did? I did my talk on exoplanets, the science we know. That was the talk I did there. And then after I did the exoplanet talk, I talked about how, my specialty in astronomy that I've made it is exoplanets, planets around other stars. And everybody knows that knows me here. And so what I did was I ended up doing the talk on that. But then I said, look, to understand how life could form elsewhere, we need to understand how it formed here. You need to see all the things that happened here to make us, and how it happened. And all these things that happened here 4.6 billion years to today are very important. So one of the things that I did was I put the entire history of the Earth on a roll of toilet paper, and every sheet I noted which sheet it was, and I wrote on it what it was, and it was 117 feet long. And I had notated the entire history of the Earth, and from 4.6 billion years ago to today in that room. And, what people realized, of course, we found that around 3.2 billion years ago, the first blue-green algae were here. And those are the carbon dioxide gobblers that actually started to, cause oxygen to be, basically pooped into the atmosphere because their waste product was oxygen. So bacteria poop is what you all breathe. How about that? Bacteria get the last laugh. And
these are scientific terms, are they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not. Yeah, actually, okay, the blue-green algae, they were here before anything ever populated the land, so that tells you that they were out in the water. What does that mean? It means they were actually plankton. phytoplankton, the photosynthetic process, photosynthesis, getting energy from the sun. That was something that they actually did, and that was really cool. And I was very I enjoyed it very much to do this whole process, because after the bacteria formed, they were kind of like the earliest life, and then 1 billion years goes by before anything of note happens, and then it's only continental stuff like the early supercontinent Rodinia forms, and then we have a thicker atmospheres developing because of these bacteria, and then we ended up getting to the point where the earliest life forms were seen, in the Proterozoic era, way back before the Cambrian. Then the Cambrian happens, and now there's an explosion of life in the Cambrian seas, and then we have the Silurian, the Ordovician, the Devonian periods. All these times for different life forms, and the borders of all these periods, when the Silurian goes to the Ordovician or whatever, okay, those borders are marked by some type of extinction event where life didn't proliferate much. Something happened. And what was that something? Well, we don't know. I mean, we know a few events. We know that some of the events, like the Permian period, the Permian era, when the Permian came to an end, that was 200 and some odd million years ago. That was the Great Dying. 98% of all species on this planet died. 98% in that Great Dying. Now, what could have caused it? Well, that's another one of the What on Earth stories that I did. They brought me radar data from Antarctica and said, "What do you make of this?" And I looked at this data, and it looked like a ring structure buried underneath the Antarctic ice, but deep under the ice in the rock strata of the Antarctic continent itself. And that rock strata looked to me like an asteroid impact scar. And I said, if this is an asteroid impact scar, it's consistent with being several 100 million years ago, around the time of the Permian dying. Maybe this is why we had 98% of the life wiped out. Maybe this is the first big asteroid strike, the first big extinction event. Now, as it turns out, the biggest in our history. So now people are researching that to see if that's true. And of course, you can't just look at pictures and say, "Oh, well, that's what this is." You got to do science, So they have to check levels of other elements around the globe to see if stratospheric dust that finally settled out over time reflects this being an impact. So they're doing that now. So I'm very pleased to have been part of that story. I think that was a really good story. And I still, to this day, I stare at that radar data to see if I can get any more details out of it. But that's a cool one, and I'll be talking about that tomorrow as well. And I can't remember if that was season 2 or 3 of What on Earth, but I've done all 5 seasons. In fact, they want to do. I did season 5 about a month ago, and now they're coming back in a couple of weeks to do the rest of season 5. So clearly there's some value there. I think they see value, so that's good. I'm a science guy, so I don't jump to any crazy conclusions. I'm happy to speak about extraterrestrial life based on the fact of what we know scientifically. Based on our science, I'm pretty sure that that they're here. And why? Well, because we look at the Earth, we look at everything that's happened here, and we see a lot of interesting possibilities for what may have happened here. Excuse me. So let's just take a look down here.
I thought I saw a shooter or two.
I did too.
Yeah.
But we'll have to go back if anyone can see them. I mean, it's early for the Perseids yet. They still have to manifest a little more than that. But again, You know, when we
Well,
look,
apparently you can start seeing them like mid-July.
yeah, that's Cassiopeia. Remember, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's
The
the W.
W.
Yeah, the W of Cassiopeia. Yeah, and then you know, over here. Okay, right around here. This is right down here. This is where Perseus is. It's a little early for Perseus, but you know, and basically you want to start looking after midnight generally, because that's when the meteors that come into the atmosphere are catching up to the rotating Earth and not impacting it directly. So you're going to see slower moving meteors after midnight typically.
Okay, so I don't know very much about it, but the little bit I do know, maybe you could elaborate on.
What do you like to know?
Okay, so the Perseids is the cloud after the comet Swift-Tuttle, correct?
I think it's
like
Swift, I think it's a Swift-Tuttle debris cloud. It's the dust tail. And
yeah, so there's a comet going around the sun.
Yeah, and
this dust trail is what Earth is going through.
That's right.
Right now.
That's right.
And that's why we're seeing it.
Right. Don't forget, we have a big orbit. You know, we have a 93 million mile orbit. You know, that's a radius. So it's really, you know, it's 186 million miles in diameter. We go around the sun. So comets generally will orbit the sun. So as they orbit the sun, they're spewing because the sun is baking them. The sun is spewing, causing them to spew this dust. And when comets get heated up, they get chemically active. They start to have jets of activity coming off of them, and these jets will blow off dust into the area around the comet, and it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have any place to go, so it just drifts along with the comet, you know. And then after a while, the stuff just goes away. You know, it gets either it'll either get what I mean by go away is it doesn't disappear. What it does is it can get pulled in by the gravitational field of another planet out there. But if it's in the middle of interstellar space, you know, in our solar system, if it's in the middle of the solar system space, it may just sit there. And as the Earth goes around the sun, the Earth will drift into that tail that's still sitting there. I mean, we've drifted into, you know, Halley's Comet tail quite a number of times, you know, obviously, and other comets. And, you know, they all go around the sun, and of course, when they get closer to the sun, that means that they will go inside the Earth's orbit, and at some point, they're going to go out as far as the Earth's orbit and beyond. Most of the periodic comets we see only go out about as far as Saturn in their orbit, and then when they come back in, all right? I mean, if my telescope here was capable, we could actually look at Halley's Comet tonight. It might actually be able to see it. I'd have to take a long exposure. But I might be able to show you Halley's Comet at some point. But you know, tonight we're actually just doing this little sky watch. Again, there's Cassiopeia in the upper left there, just below the name, the SkyTour LiveStream for 9 August 2018. The W of Cassiopeia. And that bright area that you see down low, that's actually, again, the camera is really sensitive, but when you look out of the dome, you don't really see that. What you see when you look out of the dome looks more like this, maybe like that. Okay, so it's fairly dark, but what you're seeing here is this stuff here. That's all water vapor in the atmosphere. That's what we're seeing. So the water vapor is causing lights from the town to reflect off of it, and it causes a real problem for us, you know. But we're still good as far as the you know, dome goes. I don't feel any moisture yet, but I will. You know, it's gonna get wet. Cygnus is moving. You know, Cygnus is pretty much overhead, and I see Milky Way, but it's a little subdued. You know, it's not the best it could be because, again, the moisture in the air. But let me see if I can bring us up to. Oh yeah, see, I have to do this. I'm gonna have to do it a different way. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to do this. I'm gonna take the camera, and I'm going to change its orientation and put it on the mount a little differently. Alright, so now that looks like it's odd, right? Because now we're going to see the telescope here. But what I'm going to do, see, this is going to allow us to spin this up and put it upright and look out more. So here's what I'll do. I'll rotate this around. Okay, now you can see a little better, right? We see stars a little more clearly, and I'm going to go and turn this around. Right? Now you can see our sky. And let's see what we're looking at. Alright. Well, okay, right now, let's do this. Alright, okay, there we are. Alright, can you see Cygnus?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah?
It's the left star of the summer triangle in this view right now.
That's right.
Yes, I do see it.
Yeah.
And I see Meg at the top.
Right, this is actually, where is it? Right here? That, let's see, get my hand here, right? That is Deneb.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at Deneb.
Yeah, and then you come down, and this is one star in Cygnus, then this other one up here. Boy, I'm going like all the wrong way. I'm gonna mess my hand up here. Okay, yeah, this is Deneb right here, and then we go down a little, and this is Gamma Cygni, the middle one. Then we go up, like to here, or down rather. Let's see, go down this way. We're gonna go this way. Okay. This is another star. I'm sorry about the mic. this star here, down low, is this is the star around which the Veil supernova remnant is. It's right at the tip of my finger. The Veil is right in here. All right, and so there's a beautiful nebula. Right here. Let me see if I can. Why am I having trouble with this? I'm looking right at it. I know what I'm doing. Okay, I might be screwed up on the screen.
That was like when I was trying to describe the hockey game during the Olympics. Every time I tried to go right on the screen, I'd go left and vice versa.
Well, I was looking behind me and angling at a wrong angle. So it was tough, so I'm going to do it right now. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so this is Deneb right here. Okay?
Yes.
And then this is Gamma Cygni. Hang on. Let me just get this is Gamma Cygni right here. Okay, right there. And that's got a beautiful nebula around it. All right? And that right there, that's a star. This star right here is actually the star underneath that star. Okay, right about, let's see, where is it? Right about here. I don't know, not right there. Right here. That's where the supernova remnant is. And it really, no, wait, I'm wrong. What am I doing?
You're so funny.
Oh, I am.
This is
I'm
hilarious.
so sorry, guys. I don't think I'm not messing up, am I? This guy, I was right before. This is where the supernova remnant is. It's just down below this star, right in here. And we look at that. And then, of course, this is Albireo out here. This is that beautiful double. That's that orange and green one. The B8 star and the K2. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so anyway.
Our friend David out in Thailand says that nebula looks an awful lot like a finger.
Yeah. That's right. And I'm trying to just show you this in a way that makes... Whoa! Did you see that?
No.
You didn't see that?
Everything's kind of frozen. No. Oh, wait.
I was just looking up and I saw this object go right through the field. Right through the center of Cygnus. I mean, it went like this.
Possibly, but it's
It
kind
went
of...
like this. It went right like that.
Oh, no, I didn't see it then.
Wow. I thought that was crazy. Holy cow. Wow. We'll have to review that. So just get that timestamp. I want to go check that out later.
Oh, it's 22:51 right now, and I can't see the other seconds because my picture is in the way.
Okay. All right, good, very good.
Oh, John saw it.
You did?
John did, yeah. Oh, Jenny saw it too.
Oh, fantastic.
Yay.
Oh, good.
See, I don't know. It's a little glitchy now on Skype. I'm wondering if I should go back to YouTube.
Really?
Jenny's on a big screen, so that definitely helps, yeah.
Hi, Jen. I'm glad that you joined us. I don't know who else is here, so I don't know, but this is cool. This is nice. So I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit just to focus. Oh yeah, there's the center of Cygnus. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? While I'm here, let's take a picture. So to do that, what's that?
Our friend John, weird guy, 22:50:22,
Yeah.
zone 1 to 4. Awesome.
Okay, good. So it was something there that I
Thank
thought.
you, John.
Thank you, John. Very, very good. All right, let's see now. I'm going to do 5 seconds at 20,000 right here. Let's just see what that'll give us. So one of the things that you want to look for in the trails, you actually look for, in the star trails, you actually look for, come on, what are you doing? Stop this camera. You look for, you look for actual other trails, like from the meteors, and they stand out like a sore thumb. And that's kind of a cool thing. Let me just do another one of these. This is 5 seconds.
The blues man saying it was a bug that flew through.
Okay. It did look kind of big.
And yeah, your screen on Skype is completely froze, so I'm gonna go back to YouTube.
That's weird.
So I'll be on a 30-second delay, but
okay.
Yeah, it's completely frozen.
All
on,
right.
On Skype.
I mean, for the screen share.
Okay, so I'll chop back here. For the screen share, yes.
Okay.
Ooh, that is bright pink. Okay, sorry. I'm back on YouTube. And
okay.
I guess I must have just caught the trail into your picture.
Yeah, I think so. All right. I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to share again. So now you can see if... And I'll just share the screen and see if that makes a difference for you, Amanda. So now, come back and see what you get.
Okay. Yes.
It should be
the
back.
seconds are counting again. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Let me pop it the chat again.
What the hell?
So you can't go anywhere without my chat.
No, you can't. All right. Now, let's see here. Let me just try this. This is... I'll zoom it in here, and now I'm going to go 51,200 for only 1.3 seconds. So we're going to take that picture now. Okay, no meteors there. Fair enough. All right, back to the other mode where we can start looking again. All right, here we go. All right, and now zoom out. All right, and now let's go back to our position. And now let's add a little more sensitivity. Alright, now what do we got for sensitivity? Oh, only at 128,000 ISO. That's okay. That's good. Again, there's Cassiopeia in the upper left. And for your bearings, that's the tops of the trees toward the northeastern horizon. We are looking at where Perseid is actually located, up there. Effectively, that's like the Perseid radiant. That's the source spot for where the Perseids would be. Yeah, it's before midnight.
Okay, now back to that.
Yeah.
Back to that. Okay. The comet, I read, takes 133 years to orbit the sun.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you said something about it going out towards Saturn.
Yep.
Does it pass Saturn?
Some do, some don't. I mean, you know, these are.
Do you know about this one?
No, not in particular, but it doesn't generally, you know, it doesn't generally go beyond Saturn much. Typically, some of these comets will go out to the orbit of Saturn or so, and then start swinging back in. And in their orbits, they're slow and lazy, so they come in, they orbit, and then they go out again. Well, you got to keep in mind, every time they do, they are just a little bit more evaporated. Because every time they come around the sun, they evaporate just that much more. So we do have that to contend with. So that means that we will actually never see Halley's Comet at some point. It's a periodic comet until it evaporates. Once it evaporates and it's gone, it's gone. You know, and it won't come back. You know, for sure. So let's try something here. If I pop up the gamma a little bit, and if I muck with the contrast, it's not going to help us. Just playing with a few things here. We can also sharpen the image a little. That makes it a little too rough. But we'll run with that for a little bit and see what we get.
Okay, so anyway. So the comet takes like 133 years, we'll say, to go to orbit around the sun, out to Saturn and back and blah, 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 right? Okay, so the dust trail it's leaving behind is what we're seeing now as we go through
as a meteor shower.
The dust trail.
That's right. But
okay,
that doesn't mean that we don't get some large pieces from time to time. I mean, just a couple of years ago, remember we had that giant 20-foot meteor that hit in Russia.
This sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah, and then it blew out windows. It knocked people on their butts. It literally caved in big steel fire doors with the shock and overpressure of the explosion. It was sort of like it kind of acts like a nuclear weapon in terms of the airburst. You know, these airbursts are fairly potent, and when they do hit, if you're like standing in front of a window, you could end up with glass in your face because it could possibly pop out that window. It blew out a lot of windows. So it does. They do cause issues. They do. So that's just the overpressure, we're talking about. But honestly, I'm not sure whether that's something that we would actually have to worry about around here. But you never know where these things are going to hit. You just never know.
Well, yeah, because I don't know. Like some articles are saying, like you could see them anywhere in the sky, but
Yeah.
only really in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
But why? Why Perseus?
Well, that's just as the Earth is in this position in its orbit, going around the sun, it's going to encounter this cloud of cometary debris that's in this region of space. And it happens to be as we're traveling in this particular direction, and they will appear to be coming from the constellation Perseus, but they're not. They're coming from the local space around the Earth. All right, it's just that Perseus, many light years beyond the stars in Perseus, many light years beyond the material from the comet, is just the location from where it seems to be coming from, and that's just a projection on the sky. The truth is, if you could see it in 3D space, if you left the Earth and went 1,000,000 miles in one particular direction, then that location where it seems to be coming from will be greatly shifted against the backdrop of the sky, because of course you're talking about a local cloud as opposed to something that's actually far, far away and coming from another constellation, another star system, because it's not. So that's something that's interesting too, because again, people don't understand that three-dimensionality, just like they don't understand the real history of the Earth. When I go back a sec, when I did that toilet paper history of the Earth, at the very end, a quarter inch on this 117-foot long history, a quarter inch from the end is where Lucy, 4.4 million years ago, the Australopithecus afarensis, was walking on the planet. Is a quarter inch ago on that scale. And dinosaurs were extinct at 65 million years ago. Remember the Jurassic extinction? The one that everybody knows about because it killed the dinosaurs. Well, that extinction event happened 18 inches ago on this scale. Out of 117 feet, it was 18 inches ago when dinosaurs were rendered extinct. I think that it gives you a new perspective, and you realize, wow, dinosaurs are recent history, not ancient history. And I think that's something that people ought to, be able to understand a little better, So, so understanding our relationship with the Earth and understanding how the history of the Earth unfolded is just one of the puzzles. Obviously, the other puzzles, like we just talked about, are, seeing the Earth in a 3D spatial way in reference to other astronomical objects that are in our solar system. When Herschel discovered Uranus, he called it a star that was moving through the sky at a very high rate of speed. Then he realized it was a planet, and it had to be closer than the stars. But it didn't have to be. It could have been a very fast-moving planet. Fast-moving star. And there are stars that move very quickly. One of them is Barnard's star. It has the highest motion in the sky each year of any star there is. If you took a photo today of Barnard's star and then took a photo next year at this time, Barnard's star will have literally shifted an obvious distance in the sky. So when people say this, the stars never change, that's not true. Did I just see something in zone 2?
I'm not sure.
I thought I saw something in zone 2. I don't know. I have the settings up pretty high too. They're tweaked pretty high just so we can check them out.
Well, I just put check zone 2, so if anything does go by, hopefully someone can catch a timestamp.
Okin-dokin. You know how it is. You just, as soon as you see things, it's like, hey, is there something else? I think I saw something.
Yeah, it's a lot more grainy on Skype than it is on YouTube, but again,
that was a bug. That's okay.
it's just I can see it live on Skype, whereas I'll be 30 seconds off.
Right. Okay. No, the battery did not die. I don't... Oh, apparently it did. Okay, just a minute.
Oh, and watch that echo thing.
Oh, yeah, it's not gonna... Oh, I just heard it.
Ah! Are you kidding?
No, and I don't even have the camera running.
Oh my god, that's funny.
It is. Why did that battery get eaten up? Maybe because of the mode we're in. I don't often use this mode with the camera. But, no, it sure does show, doesn't it? Alright, let's get rid of this. And we got that. Okay, now we're better. Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, we move over a little more. I don't know if, I hope you guys liked it. I just sort of like am very mobile with the camera. I like to move it a lot, you know, so we can see what's going on a little better. I'll look up. Excuse me. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. Well, that's 2 of 4 batteries down already, so clearly my son did not recharge them for me. That little Poindexter, he's going to pay for that. That's okay. Thing is, I really want to get the electronic power supply for the camera. Because that's really what you should use for something like this. You should not have to, you know, do anything else. Alright, let me try something else now. So bear with me for a sec.
Okay.
I'm going to just go...
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure this out, and I don't want to confuse people, so...
That's alright. Alright, so... Just changing some values.
I like it darker black better.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this try to look a little better here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, and then one thing you'll notice is that when you move the camera like this, you can see which things are actually artifacts. Okay, like right here, this little red thing right there.
Yeah.
Okay, you see that as I move the camera, it stays.
I see that.
There's another one to the right of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a camera artifact that's from the camera, generated by the camera. Jenny knows what I'm talking about. It's a dead pixel on the camera. If she's still here, I don't even know if she's still here.
She was, I believe.
Oh, we have an aircraft. And there's a plane.
About 16 watching.
What's that?
We have about 16 watching. Not sure if everybody's chatting, but a lot of people are.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. And the Persians come in force. I expect we're probably going to have more.
Yep, Jenny's still here.
Oh, goody. why don't we do a pan around? So let's just keep going. Okay, there's Cassiopeia. We're coming up to the north. Alright, let me just pop us up a little higher here. Okay. Alright, so now as we move around, this way, and there is the North Star, which is, North Star is right there. That's the North Star. And now you can see the Little Dipper in full right here, coming down. Okay, you can see it right there. And if we keep going over a little more, alright, you see the white of the dome. And now you can see the Big Dipper very nicely.
Yep.
I don't know if you can see it now, but you can, I think.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. There's the Big Dipper. Sort of on the horizon now, as it's leaving us behind for a little while. There it is. You can even see Mizar over here. That is the middle star in the handle of the Dipper right there. And that's Mizar. You can see it's a double star. You see that?
I do.
Now if we can zoom in on it a little more. Okay. Now you see Mizar a little better. Okay. And Mizar and Alcor are actually also double stars each. So there's more stars there than that. So that's the handle of the Big Dipper, and that is the Big Dipper outside of our dome right now. And if we keep turning around, the view is going to get a little odd as you get to a little bit of the house, but then above the telescope we've got more stars up above. You can see what a beautiful night though we are capable of here. You see that? It's really pretty.
It's gorgeous.
And then as we spin around some more.
Hold on, I had a question about the Big Dipper though. Did you say our galaxy used to be part of it?
No, all the stars we see are in our galaxy, remember? No, I was just saying that the Big Dipper is thought at one point to be a cluster that we were born within. All the stars are relatively close to us, so it's possible that we were associated with those stars at one point. Now we come around, and there's a reason I'm doing this, as you'll see in a moment.
So by us, you mean our solar system, or
yes, our solar system with our sun.
Wow.
Okay, so now let's take a peek down here.
If not from there, then from where?
Well, that's it. We don't know where. You know, there's not a we can't really say for sure. You know, literally can't say for sure. All right. Yeah, see, as the moisture is leaving the air and depositing on the dome, the sky is getting clearer, but we're also suffering here, unfortunately.
Yuffie wants to know how long it takes for our galaxy to rotate, which is a great question.
Yeah, it is. Well, there's two numbers. That's the number that it takes the sun to go around the galaxy, which is about 230 million years. And then, of course, we would then want to say, well, okay, but the sun is part of anywhere from, 100 to 400 billion stars. So how long does it take the entire galaxy to rotate? And that's the thing that was hard to figure out, because we didn't really know what rotate meant. Okay, we didn't know whether the galaxy rotates or whether the spiral arms of a galaxy are just shock waves within a galaxy. But principle basically says that the galaxy, individual stars are going around the galaxy. So 230 million years is how long it takes the sun to go around. So if it takes the sun that long, we've done it about 19.5 times since the formation of the Earth. If it takes about that long for the sun to go around the galaxy when it's about 2/3 of the way out, then we can say that that's a rough rule of thumb as to how long it takes the galaxy to rotate. But it's not going to be the same everywhere, because when they're closer to the center, it's going to take them. It won't take as long. You know, it's going to be a quicker process for when they're closer to the center. Okay, as my screen brightens from the very camera itself, I get these things showing up.
Dome looks like bright fluorescent pink.
Yeah, it's a hot pink dome. What can I say? You know. No, but then as I move over here, okay, in the dome, now we're looking south. Okay, southwest or southeast, and as we look southeast here, there's this object down here, which is kind of near the southern horizon. And what is that? Well, it's called the blinking thing. No, it's actually this is a known. I have a cable problem, just so you know, and I gotta replace the cable. Overuse, too much use. That's actually Mars out there, guys. And if we can zoom in on it, you can see we zoom out. That's my head. Okay, we zoom in. All right, and you can see a distinctive orange color to it. It's definitely Mars. All right, really pretty. And then moving further this way, we're heading back to the eastern horizon now. Let me zoom us out again, so we can see. Okay, that's the southeast. This is the east over here. This is the eastern horizon. The eastern horizon and the northeastern horizon are the ones that are compromised for us in terms of light. But like I said, just understand, if you look straight up, okay, look at the sky. This is not bad. Okay. In fact, if I stop right here, you'll notice you can actually see the Milky Way going through Cygnus right there. Okay. This is Deneb right here. Oh, sorry. Where am I looking here? This is Deneb. All right, let's get it right. Get my hands going where they're going. Okay, this is Deneb. No, it isn't. Hold on. Oh my gosh, it's like a puzzle. Okay, yeah, right there. That's Deneb, the brightest star in Cygnus, and you'll notice that there's this cloudy patch right north of it. Okay, but that is actually part of the summer Milky Way that we're looking at there. And let me see if I can actually get us a photo of that. I'm going to cut off of here for a minute and go down to, say, at wide I can actually go to about 10 seconds. I can easily do 10 seconds. And I'll do 10 seconds at 20,000. Let's just see what we get. Here we go. And the dome's going to be in the way, so I'm going to move that out of the way. Okay, it's still going to be a little in the way, so it'll be bright on the edges. Alright, so here we go. Let's just see how it looks. Remember, I've got the camera on a tripod tonight. I don't have it hooked up to the telescope at all. Yeah, a little bright, and the mount is slushing a little, so that's what we had that problem there. Okay, so let me drop it down from that to say 8,000 and do 6 seconds. Here we go. Sometimes the mount will relax as it chills out. There you go. Look at that. And you can see the Milky Way, guys.
Yeah.
That's a much better shot. See our Milky Way?
I do.
And that's an 8-second photo. And I think that it's pretty telling. You know, there's actually a good sky here, even though it appears to be light, you know, a little bit. But you know, that's the way it goes here, you know. And you can see Cygnus again now, and we rotate around a little bit. And now let's see, we can get to Vega, which is now in the upper right corner. You can see Vega up here. Okay, Vega up right there. There's Vega right there at the end of my finger, that bright one. Now we'll take another photo and give you an idea of what that looks like, and I'll show you something about that in a minute, because that's an interesting place too. And Vega is neat because Vega actually, I can't see my screen now, I gotta go around the other side, I'm sorry. Vega is the home star, that is to say the brightest star, the Alpha, in the constellation of Lyra. And Vega is a very interesting star because it's a standard for us. It's a standard star that has a magnitude brightness, that it's a set number that is well known, and that well known number is something that helps us set the magnitude scale, and that number is 0. It has a magnitude 0 brightness. Okay, so let's see. Let's go. We're going to do 8 seconds at, and I'll do it for say 12,800. Let's just see what that does. Probably be a little bright. Again, it's going to be bright because we have a lot of water vapor in the air. But I am also using a filter to counteract a lot of the crap that we might see. And this actually, even though that was bright, let me show you what we can do with that. You know, you look at this image and you say, wow, what the heck is all that? And if we go in and do a little image processing right off the bat, let's just do that, because I want to show you what we can do here. First, let's make the colors a little more realistic. All right, and then let's change a little bit of the contrast, and maybe drop down some of the gamma here. Okay, now you take a look at the image and you'll see that it's a little bit more viewable. You can see more to it. All right, and you can see Deneb, which is the left of center, and then just, I'm going to point this out because it's visible and we can see it very clearly. And I might actually take the telescope to that and put this on the telescope shortly, but I just want to point out something to you as well. Let me just go back here for a minute, and let me bring us into the live video mode for a sec. Okay, when we were looking at Deneb here a moment ago, right, and checking out what we were seeing here, I wanted to show you that, just a sec. Okay, right here, right out there, there is a nebula. Actually, it's right there. Right there. There's a nebula, okay, that you can see on the image. And I'm going to go back to that image right now, show you real quick. If it'll let me. Okay. Yeah, not here. Just a sec. Oh, where was I going? I don't want to be there. What's going on there? Hang on, my camera took me to a totally weird place. Not a worry. I don't know why I did that. Okay, whatever. Let's hope it's not a problem. So, I was going to take you and tell you about something else, which I'm going to do right now. When we look at the screen here. Okay, there we go. All right, that object that you see to the left of center there, and it's fairly pronounced, has a little sharp angle to it. That's actually the North American Nebula. If I can center it a little better, then maybe that'll stand out somewhat. So I'll do it this way. Lock down the mount because it drifts a lot. And now I'll take a 10-second photo. Let's do 8 seconds at 10,000. Let's just see what we get here first. I'm standing stock still because I don't. It's sitting on the floor here in the observatory. The tripod is, so I don't want to have it bounce around too much. Okay, that's kind of interesting. It sort of shows it, doesn't it? Oh, I get what it's doing. It's doing a sequence of 3 images. That's what that was. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. I didn't want to do that. I see what I did. Okay, now I'm all better. Yeah, so let's go to 13 seconds at 10,000. I mean, if you the lower the ISO, you know, the sensitivity you use, the better the picture is going to be. It's not going to be as grainy and nasty. Okay, so lower ISO is better, and that's what we're doing. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. See now, when you look at this, you're still with me, Amanda, yes?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if I was talking to myself.
Oh no.
So near the center, you can see just below center and a little to the left, that's the neb. And then to the lower left of it, you see this reddish, pinkish nebula, right? You see that?
I see something maybe a little pinkish under it.
Yeah, and that's actually the North American Nebula. And what I'd like to do is have you remember that.
I remember hearing that name before.
Okay, well, I'm going to take the camera off the mount. All right, while you guys are looking at that and studying that image, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to take the telescope and I'm going to I'm going to put this back on the telescope. Take it all apart. Come on. There we go. Alright, so now it's coming apart. We're going to go back on the telescope and we're actually going to go see this in a different way. I'm hoping that it'll be interesting. Here we go. Let's see. There we are. That's on. It's in. Now I'll take the telescope cover off. You can't see this now, guys, because I have the camera now on the telescope. You may see, as soon as the telescope goes live again, you might see a few things, but not yet. And now I'm going to take and put the dew cap back on. The dew cap always has to be on, and it makes it a lot easier to look at things when you have lenses that aren't fogged up. Okay, here we go. Now, all right, that's good for now. Now, let's do this. I actually want to take this out of here. Take this out of here. Let me lock this on. I'm removing the camera from the main telescope, which I just put it on, which I didn't want to. I realized I did the wrong thing. And now I'm going to put the camera on the new telescope. That's on that's now mounted on the side of this one. And let's see if this delivers what I think it's going to deliver. Okay, now let's go. I have to take the cover off of the new telescope, which I've just done. And now let's go up to, and play with. Let's play with this North American Nebula and see if we can see what I saw the last time we looked up here. Alright, so there's the North American Nebula. And we're going to go there now. After I connect. Apparently it didn't connect. It got disconnected because it went to a different thing. Okay, alright, North American Nebula, yes. Go to. Alright, here we go. Wow. It's getting there. Takes a little. I have it set on a slower drive right now because. Oh, you know what? It's actually not going to be focused because I forgot I have to focus it. But if I can just get any kind of stars in here, I can focus this. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is take us first to Deneb right next door. And Deneb is called Alpha Cygni. Alright, so let's go there first. Should have done this already. I didn't do it before. I apologize. Yeah, there it is. And then you can see what it's like when the star's out of focus. Alright, and...
Well, this is good to see live, too, how it's all done.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. Alright,
Shouldn't you be using Vega to focus, though?
No, I don't have to. I can do this, and I'm gonna be taking this down just a little. That out all the way. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that goes in. So I have to come out a little more. Okay, this will work. And we do that, and this. Okay, and now I focus on this, and let me. Yeah. And let's hope for a fainter star, which we have there. Okay, this looks like it might work. Okay, all right, now that I'm focused, let's swing over back to the North American Nebula. And let's go to. As you can see, it's not very far away. Not very far away at all. Okay, the field of view here is about 4 full moons in size.
Our moons.
Yeah.
Luna.
Yep. Okay, so let's do 13 seconds at 10,000 just to see what we'll get. So we're doing it now. And I don't... Okay, I might have to up that a bit. Let's do 25,600 for 10 seconds. And I'm going to move cord because it's in the way, so I'm hanging it on a cord hanger. Alright, let's try this.
Now, I didn't see a nebula in that last picture, but I did see a whole bunch of glowing blue stars.
Yeah.
What were we looking at?
That was it's the area of the North American Nebula. And, okay, now it's starting to show up. See, I had to just go a little deeper. Okay, see that?
I see the dark.
Alright.
It almost looks like a deep, like, maroon or something.
Yeah, but actually the nebula is the brighter part of that picture.
Really?
Yeah, the brighter part of the image. Actually, you know what? Let me actually do a little processing on the fly, which I like to do now that I have the capability.
Now that you can.
Yeah, now they can, yeah. And so now if we take and let's just set everything equal. This is what the picture looks like native right here, okay? And now if we want to drop it down and increase the contrast a little bit. If I go too much, so you can start to see that you can really see the separation between the nebula. All right, I don't know if you can see that.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah. All right, we can go to a variety of color schemes. Okay, we can go out to where like the Hubble palette is. We can go into some of the blues. We can head to the magentas, and then into the oranges and the reds. But truthfully,
the blue looked the best to me.
Well, the blue is more realistic when we get to like about, say, just about here, right? But if you notice, the nebula also, right there in the just below center. Okay, and again, this is one photo. We have a lot of processing to do more on this. But this is the North American Nebula, and you can actually see some modeling. Actually, that's in this nebula. You can see some modeling. You know, in this part of the nebula that's down below the center here. And that's actual, that's real. And when I did some processing on it and uploaded the photos, looking at just this area, it was stunning, really stunning. And I'm not even, I mean, this is just sort of a short exposure. I mean, if we make this a, let's just go to 16,000, but then go up to 15 seconds, then that's 2 stops down, 2 stops up. That's the same. So let's go to 25 seconds at 16,000. And now we'll actually have 2 stops more exposure with the same processing settings in here. And let's see what we get. And I still got my eye in the northeastern horizon, guys. That's the area of the dome that's showing. And I see nothing yet. Again, it has to be after midnight for that to happen. So what do we get for 25 seconds with this setting for the North American Nebula? Yeah, see? A little more detail, huh? Now, you can see the nebula much more clearly in the center. We might even be able to bring it out a little bit more. And with processing, you know that I'm a crazy guy when it comes to processing. I can process these things until the cows come home. And then the cows would turn right around and leave again because I'm sure they wouldn't want to, you know, watch me doing this. So then let's see here. If we do this, I set that. Okay, now look at what we got. Now you can see the North American Nebula in all its splendor, in a sense. Now, if I were to go even longer, well, then we could go and get a better shot even. But this is right near Deneb, that image that I showed you earlier. And that image, let's go back here. That image is actually showing us this. What did I do? I didn't want to do that. Oh, I see what happened. Sorry. This image right here, this guy, okay, I want to do this. All right. And then we're looking right. North American Nebula is that shape right there. And Deneb is the star just above center to the right. And then that splotch that you see there, okay, that's the North American Nebula. Now, that's with the camera on the tripod, looking at it with just a lens, okay? And if we look at the, if we're looking not at that, but we come back to the photo we just took, okay, this one, well, now we're looking at the North American Nebula with more resolution per pixel. And you can actually see some of the cloudy structures. And again, this is high ISO, and we do have some processing running on it right now. And just to get an idea of what that's doing, what you're looking at on the screen when you look at the little inset image, and it shows you that square for the zoom on the left side there, that inset, you know from looking at this before, that square is supposed to be orange. So if I go in and just change the filters back to their default, then this is what we got. All right. And you don't really see much of a nebula here. But what you can do is you can process on the fly, which is what we're doing. I'm processing on the fly for you so you can see this. And now, if we do play with some of the settings here, we can actually get some of this to show up. And there's certain colors, if you process into, like right here, this is why the Hubble palette, when they use the Hubble palette, they do that because the Hubble palette of colors in the Hubble Space Telescope, those colors serve to bring out some of the details that you might not otherwise see. And that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing exactly that. You know, and you know, as you go darker, you see some more of them. But frankly, I think it's important to you know, capture as much detail as possible. You know, so now imagine if we took 30 pictures of this same spot, 30, okay, 30, and then we stacked them all together, one on top of each other. Then what we'd end up with is a final picture where the noise you see in between the stars, the blotchiness, the things that happen because of the camera at high sensitivity, those things get weeded out and removed. It's called improving the signal to noise ratio. And some of you are very familiar with that, I know. And improving that signal to noise ratio is the first step in improving your astrophotography. And so that said, you can see now how we actually can see the nebula. I'm going to actually now go and do something unthinkable. I'm going to go up to 32,000 ASA for 25 seconds on this nebula, and let's see. Let's see what we can do. And again, we're using the second telescope at the John Zach Memorial Observatory, and it's mounted on the first, as you saw. So we're doing pretty good here. That's interesting. Look at that. You know, there's a certain point you get to where you don't end up getting a tremendous bang for your buck beyond a certain point sometimes. But let's set the defaults. Let's do some processing. Oh, well, you can see there, huh? See the nebula?
I like the deeper colors, yeah.
You can see the nebula pretty clearly. See, and now this brings out the nebula quite strongly on those areas of nebulosity there are really clear. You can also like see what it looks like in black and white. Okay, so that's what it would be if you were to shoot it in black and white, of course. And then you can balance the colors, and I bring them down somewhat low. You were saying?
Oh, just that I like the deeper colors. Okay.
Well, here, I mean, this is showing the nebula really clearly. Let's while we're here, let's do one other thing. Let's go to the next star down in Cygnus, which is called Gamma Cygni. It's the center of the Northern Cross. And let's go check out whether this star has anything interesting going around it. I wouldn't have said that if I didn't know already, but I just wanted to. If it's a voyage of discovery. Isn't this pretty though? These are beautiful deep sky photos. You can see this real convoluted nebula there. It's just really pretty. Well, let's do same thing, 25 seconds at 32,000 for this area of the sky, the center area around the middle of Cygnus, and see what we get.
Okay, we do have another astronomer out in the audience here.
Awesome.
Newcomer to the community. Welcome, Elliot.
Elliot,
He,
Astro Imaging, how you doing?
yes, he is the one. And he is mentioning that the view is vertical.
Yeah.
Is there any way to rotate? Or is it vertical for a reason?
It's vertical just because I'm not telling the camera not to do that, and I probably should, but I've actually been fighting with Sony about that. I want to shut that off so that the camera does not rotate at all, ever. But it won't cooperate. I've done every setting there is, and Sony doesn't know why it still does this. So this is Gamma Cygni, and it's the bright star there in the center, and around it you can see that bright area. That's actually a nebulous cloud, which is really fascinating, actually, around this star. And I want to take us down a little bit. I want to take us down just a bit, which you can't see now, but now you can. Alright, I'm taking us to a part of the Gamma Cygni Nebula. Alright, and let's do another exposure. Let's actually crank it up. Let's go to 40,000 ASA, sensitivity, and that way we can drop it down to like 20 seconds, get the same thing. It'll be noisier, it'll be uglier, but we're looking for some nebular information. I'm still looking northeast, guys. I don't see any activity yet. If I see activity start up, you bet your butts I'm going to be aiming this camera. Oh, yeah, see, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Now you can actually see more of the cloudiness around that. It almost looks surreal, doesn't it? And part of it is because of the filter I'm using. Okay, these are kind of like false color images, but that's the way it is. False color for now. It helps us see things better. All right, and now let's go to something else that we have seen before, and it's still a little bit on the murk side, I should say. It's kind of, oh, let me see. It might not be too bad. Well, actually, it's pretty good. I'll just go there. We'll check this out. Yeah. All right. Okie-doke. Now we'll just check this out. 20 seconds at 40,000 one more time, just for fun. I mentioned this already, and I just wanted to show it to you directly. It's just one piece. And this is, again, with the wide-angle 5-inch refractor that's mounted on top of the main telescope. And there you go.
Wow.
That's the Veil supernova remnant. That's one piece of it. And this is a 20-second photograph. Isn't that beautiful?
It looks crazy with those colors.
I know. Well, if you want to see what it looks like without any processing, that's easy enough. I can take care of that right away. And I'll do that for you because I want to show you what it looks like. And we can come back to it. So if I drop the contrast back down and bring the gamma where it belongs, okay, this is the photo as the camera delivered it. All right, and then with processing, what we can do is we can do this. Okay, and now you can see some of the colors of you see the greens and the reds of that nebula, right? And we'll leave the hue right where it is because that's where it belongs, right? But you can see how this looks. It looks really much more pronounced and obvious, right? This is not correct color-wise, but you can actually, well, it is. It's almost correct color-wise. It's a little bit toward the blue, but you can see the remnant. And the processing, even though it's not the right look, right? This is the thing you would do in order to actually get detail and to see what we're looking at. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And we can, of course, swing all around the different hue palettes to see what we're looking at, see which show up better under which conditions. And that's kind of interesting too. But I think we want to see the most nebula, and that's kind of right about in this region here. You know, and that's really pretty. And then right next door is literally across the yard, so to speak, is the other piece of this nebula. It's associated with...
It sounds like we're going there now.
Yeah, and that's associated with this star that we've seen before. It's called 52 Cygni. It's the nomenclature is it's a numbered star. You know, you do something when you run out of names. So now we're doing a 20 seconds at 40,000 on this one. And this will show that really delicate little spindle that is the other side, the western veil. And it's really kind of cool. And there we go. Look at that. See, and I think it's also punctuated by that star. You know, and again, at 40,000 ASA, look what we get. We get all this noise. You know, and that's not, you know, that's not good, but it's better than what it could be. So now, if I say go to 16,000 and do a 30-second exposure, all right, I'll do that now, and then we can see what that's going to look like. And we'll compare the noise. And it's going to be a little dimmer because I'm not doing an equal trade of stops versus exposure. But if we look at what this is going to give us, we're going to see that the extra 2 stops that we went up in exposure is going to help offset the fact that we dropped it tremendously in the ISO sensitivity. And of course, my processing is now going to change. I thought, geez, well, I turned out to be a liar, but it's actually, I just need to process this a little differently. Oh, hang on. My mistake. Okay. Yeah, see now, if we go here, so this is what it looks like now if we look at it with this new view where we actually did it at 16,000 ISO rather than 40. Now you can see that the nebula is a little more delicate. You can see more delicacy there because of the fact that you know, that star, all right, at 40,000 ISO, this is really grainy and bad. But now at 16,000, it's not as bad. But we do have a little bit of trailing, and that's because I was rolling along in the observatory and I bumped the pier a little bit. So my mistake. However, that said, I also have to now check for moisture buildup and make sure that we're okay. Yeah, we're a little wet. So I have some more time. I can just spend a little more time here. Could really, I mean, the Andromeda galaxy is coming up, and I'd like to image that before we retire. And I'd like to do it with this particular setup at the moment. I've never imaged that the galaxy with this.
Hmm.
So it should be interesting. But the galaxy is literally, let's see, what do we got now? We're actually, elevation-wise. No, we're not. I'm trying to get the elevation here. That's like 42 degrees up. Still a little in the murk. But you know what? I will see if we can get it. What do you say?
Let's try.
Okay. That's a good idea. So let's take this contraption over to the Andromeda Galaxy. Hope you guys are enjoying this. All 2 of you, or whatever. I don't know how many people are actually watching.
About 14 right now. Not sure if everyone's chatting or not.
Oh, that's okay.
I think the ones that are enjoying the view.
Awesome.
Really enjoying what you're catching. So.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's check out the Andromeda Galaxy. Let's make sure we see it. Oh, there it is. So it's just, this is in the raw 4K mode, so I'm going to bring it up.
That looks very cool.
Oh, you got the coyotes? Can you hear? Listen.
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
I thought I heard one.
Oh yeah, there's a whole pack of them. I have a pack of coyotes outside the dome, but don't worry, I'm in the dome. Of course, I have to leave at some point. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be beautiful. You ready for this, guys? Let's do a test shot. We'll do 15 seconds at 25,600 on the 5-inch refractor. We should catch most of the Andromeda Galaxy in this view. Yeah, listening to those coyotes, like, oh, I was in Arizona and I I heard, okay, that's a little bright. I was actually in Arizona and I actually looked at, I checked out the fact that there, oh, no wonder, I wasn't 25,600, it was 256,000, my mistake. Okay, now we'll do 25,600, 15 seconds. And I heard coyotes, and I had my drone, in fact I had my infrared drone that had the FLIR system on it, the infrared system. So I sent that up to check out the pack, and I could see them trotting through the desert. And it was just a really interesting thing. Oh, wow. Now that is a photo.
Yeah.
Check this out, guys. That's a photo. Wow. That's really pretty. You can see you can see the 2 companion galaxies as well to the Andromeda Galaxy there.
Those black streaks?
No, those are the dark lanes inside the galaxy. Dust and so forth, but no, we're looking at you can see that faint. There's a round one. See that round one? That's up. Yeah, it's sort of like down below the center. It looks like a star, but it's not. That's actually a fuzzy elliptical galaxy. That's M32. And I mean, I can show you that. This is beautiful. Wow. I've never done this before. This is new. This is a new view for me. Oops. Okay, so if we look at this, okay, M32 is this guy right down here.
Okay, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, and then M110 is this one up at the top. It's another companion galaxy to M32, M31. So that is, now, it's also, you want to flop it 180 degrees to see it the way we expect to see it, all right? But the sky doesn't always cooperate, in that way. But this is just beautiful. Holy cow. And this is slightly processed, I think. I could probably Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it is. The default is this. All right. So if we just bring the contrast up a little bit, not much, and then drop down some of these other factors. Look at that. Okay, now we have a really pretty view, and it's actually just a slight bit too green, but it's almost correct. It's almost correct. Is that not pretty or what? That's the Andromeda galaxy with the two companion galaxies. M32 at the bottom and M110 at the top. Now, that exposure was 15 seconds at 25,600. I wonder what it'll look like at 30 seconds at 25,600. Let's go see. And that's also with a lousy sky. Can you imagine when the sky gets better? Oh, man, this is going to be beautiful. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Holy cow.
Swag has a question and
Sure.
wants to know what would be called a natural coloring.
The actual color that appears in nature. And that's, if for certain populations of stars, their colors are, if they're a population 2 star, their colors may be a little bit on the yellowish red, not red, but yellowish color. You get some blue ones in there too, but if you, and population 2 are like the first ones, the first stars that were actually born in the galaxy. Really kind of interesting. So see how we change the contrast, see how you can accent details and stuff. Now we do this, drop it down. Look at that. That's beautiful. It's subtle because that's the way I'm processing it. But I think I'm going to be doing a series on this tonight before I retire, because this was quite a lucky find tonight to be able to catch something that looks this nice. So natural color, like if you look at the galaxy here, the center of the galaxy nucleus here, these stars are stars that were formed when the galaxy was formed, obviously. And these stars they tend to be more on the yellow side. And on the outer arms where the stars are newly formed, these stars are younger stars, and they tend to be more blue. And that's reflected in this image. You can see that the center is a little bit more toward the whitish yellow. The outside is more toward the blue. And even though the nebular filter we're using is skewing the colors a little bit, it's actually doing a good job. We're actually seeing it just like we would expect to see it. This is really outstanding. I'm just really pleased with this. This is beautiful. I'm going to do a couple more of those. Is there any other questions that I can answer while I'm doing this?
No, just keeping an eye on them.
Okay. Very good. Well, that's good. I'm glad.
But yeah, to all the viewers out there, please keep them coming.
Yeah.
We've got a little while left.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes until I start to get due on the telescope. Then we got to shut it down.
A few more minutes.
Yeah.
Remember that for the new people in the audience. Remember him saying a few more minutes.
Yeah, a few more minutes. A few more minutes, yeah. I'm just doing a series of these guys, so that I'll probably do maybe 10 of them or so. But
actually, that reminds me, for the newcomers, I am going to put a link in chat.
Okay.
And it is for our companion Facebook group.
Oh, fantastic. SkyTour LiveStream.
Facebook group.
STLS.
And what Mark does is all these pictures that he takes tonight and on other nights where the weather is good and it's clear out, he will process some of these and leave some unprocessed as well, leave them raw. And he'll put them up in the Facebook group, and then you can play around with the unprocessed ones and do whatever you'd like with them, or check out some of the deeper images he puts together for us.
And
So
take
join.
the processed ones and bring them down and use them as backgrounds if you like. No charge. No, we don't charge for this. No. This is just a lot of fun, and it's live, and that's what's cool about this. We're looking at this galaxy live right now, as you see it. When it comes in, you're seeing it as it comes in. You're not seeing it in some kind of delay or anything like this. This is all live. You know, and that's to me, that's kind of worth the price of admission. Of course, the price of admission is $0, so it's a double win for you.
And he takes requests.
I do. If you guys see anything that you like to, if you'd like to see anything in the sky, just let me know, and I will check it out if it's up. I know Amanda. Amanda likes Cat's Paw Nebula. That's like one of her favorites.
Cat's Paw? Aww.
Cat's Eye.
I want to see a cat's paw now.
Well, there is a Cat's Paw Nebula.
Is there really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we go to it, or let me guess, it's in the southern hemisphere?
No, it's actually not. I don't believe it's up right now. I could be wrong. I'm not really thinking about it too much. But and for those of you just coming on board, we're just taking a series of the Andromeda Galaxy with M32 and that's M for Messier, and Messier 32 and Messier 110 flanking Messier 31, which is the Andromeda Galaxy. And Messier 31 is a galaxy that is so large, it may have up to 4 trillion stars. Compare that to our galaxy, which has between 100 and 400 billion. And this galaxy you're looking at right here may have over 1 trillion stars. So it's quite a galaxy. And by the way, we are heading for the Andromeda Galaxy. We are mutually gravitationally bound, and the Andromeda Galaxy will collide with us in a few billion years. And when it does, well, frankly, you won't even know what happened, because no, it doesn't mean you're going to die and be obliterated. It means that you won't even notice that it happens. Okay? That's the truth. When we look at galactic collisions, and I have a simulator that can model them. Most of the stars, in fact, 99.9% of the stars go through galactic collisions without even coming close to each other. They just sort of like pass through each other. But they're all, as soon as they get near another star, then their gravity, of course, is tugging on them. And of course, the entire shape of both galaxies is disrupted totally. So that's a given. You're going to end up with a very misshapen galaxy in the end. And one of the things that we think, as astronomers, is that maybe what's happening is that when these galaxies collide, spiral galaxies like M31, the Messier 31, the Andromeda Galaxy, like our Milky Way galaxy, is a spiral galaxy. Our galaxy has a thicker bar of stars down the center. So we're a spiral, but we're called a barred spiral, which is a little bit more defined in the spiral nature. And so that barred spiral nature of our galaxy is something that is really important.
Sorry, we have some questions coming in. I'm just jotting them down before I lose them in the scroll. You asked for them. We're getting them.
No, I'm glad. That's fine.
Yes, I appreciate that from everybody. And we'll take one of those questions now, I guess, then.
Yeah, no, please, go ahead. I was waiting for you.
No, I thought you were going to say something else, so.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm in the middle of taking these photo series, so I'm just going to, I'll take questions.
I know, that's why I didn't want to interrupt you, because I figured as soon as the picture comes through, you'll say, wow, and then tell us about it.
Wow.
Oh.
As I'm taking the series because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these up raw for you to see and use and play with. Then I'm also going to stack them. and see if we can't get a gorgeous end result photo out of all this. And the more images you take and the more that you stack, you typically, if you stack, and I'm not going to do this many, but if you can stack between 20 and 25 images, that kind of gives you the maximum impact, and you don't get much more bang for the buck generally, but it's kind of interesting. I just love this 5-inch refractor addition here is what we're looking at, and when we take a picture through the main scope of the Andromeda galaxy, we only see the central nucleus with a little bit of the spiral arms. Now we see it in context. We see the entire galaxy. Actually, we don't. We see most of the galaxy, and then we see on the outside, we see the companion galaxies. Interestingly, we have companion galaxies to ours as well. We actually have 3. Most people know we have 2. The large and small Magellanic Clouds. What they don't know is that there's also what's called this little irregular diffuse galaxy that's also orbiting our galaxy. How it got there, how it became what it is, no one knows. We don't know. But it happened early in the evolution of our galaxy, and maybe it was the collision of our galaxy with another small galaxy or a near miss, and maybe our galaxy disrupted it. And so maybe it was in the process of formation, and as it whipped by us, it didn't get fully involved with us. It could have ended up being a galaxy that ended up being pulled apart, and now what we're seeing is the stars kind of coalescing back together with each other gravitationally. But I don't know. But anyway, I'd love you ask questions, please, because I really would like to hear some.
Okay, well, one, I should point our good friend Weird Guy John to our SkyTour Radio on KGRAradio.com. His question was, what are the odds something lives on Mars now that it has a lake? And we did a whole show about that not too long ago.
We indeed did. On SkyTour Radio, we actually did do this. And I'll tell you this, John. The chances have improved because liquid water, we know, is necessary for life as we know it. Now, everybody says, well, what about life as we don't know it? Paul Eno, my good friend Paul Eno from Behind the Paranormal, with his son Ben. Paul's fond of saying, what about life as we don't know it? And that's true. It could be life as we don't know it. But keep this in mind. On Mars, as on Earth, the universe has provided templates. What's that mean? Well, on Earth, all by itself, amino acids were formed in the primordial atmosphere through interactions with lightning and through ammonia, methane, water, and diatomic hydrogen, H2. Okay, those elements were primarily what was in our atmosphere early on. And if you bombard them with a spark, all right, elements and compounds, if you bombard them with a spark, then that spark will generate ultraviolet radiation, and the ultraviolet radiation is necessary to form these building blocks of life, which are the amino acids from which you are made. So we know that it happened here. We know that comets brought water to this planet. We know that asteroids and meteorites brought amino acids here. The Murchison meteorite, Murchison, M-U-R-C-H-I-S-O-N, the Murchison meteorite brought a number of amino acids to the planet. And comets did the same thing. And so all three, the Earth, comets, and meteors, started this process and were creating these building blocks of life. Now, what's it mean for Mars? Well, Mars was very much like here in the early days. It had a lot of water, probably from comets and also from its own processes. It had a lot of methane. It had carbon dioxide, of course. And it had hydrogen. And so life could have formed in early oceans on Mars as well, or in lakes, as it did here. So the question that we ask ourselves is, if that's the case, where is it now? Well, on Mars, the surface is sterile. The surface has been bathed in ultraviolet radiation for quite some time, billions of years. So the surface regolith, that is the soil on Mars, you can't grow anything, and it's actually as dead can be, because the ultraviolet radiation is so high from the sun. But deep underground, where the ultraviolet radiation doesn't get to, a different story. And I say deep underground, this lake's a mile beneath the surface of the Planum Australis, down at the South Pole. And it's about 12 kilometers long, actually. So it's a fairly good-sized lake underground. And we're not talking just hydrated rocks, rocks that have water compounds in them. We're talking about actual water, like an aquifer. And the reason they could see this is because when the Marsis mission, MARSIS, was doing a radar survey of the Martian South Pole, it knows how to look at the reflections off of ice. It knows how to look at the reflections off of dirt and sand and rock. And it knows how to look at the reflections off of water. And so it was seeing the reflections, and it was categorizing them. Well, okay, water, a little water, ice, as expected, CO2 ice, carbon dioxide ice, rock. And then it found more water. And they were looking at this for many years. They were doing this search. And they finally discovered this one place. Sorry, I was looking at something. This one place that actually seemed to have a good deal of water. And it was this area on Mars that now has this lake. And this is interesting, and I suspect we will be very interested in this lake moving forward. And there could be microbial life there, and maybe even more advanced life, who knows, but it would be on the order of small shrimp type things, probably, something on that line. And that's a huge leap. But that's a good question, thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Laura wants to know about, she said a star recently got wiped out by a solar flare of some type.
I don't remember that event, Laura.
And I think
That's Laura Hovey?
Yeah. Tau Ceti? Or what's Tau Ceti? TAU?
Yeah,
CETI?
Yeah, Tau Ceti is a star in Cetus. And actually, Tau Ceti was, has been throughout science fiction as a stated as a possible, place where there might be habitable worlds and stuff like that. But we had not found any, until I think lately. They might have found one planet around Tau Ceti, as far as I know. But is she saying that was it actually Tau Ceti had a solar flare or something and wiped out another star? I don't.
Well, I think possibly Jimmy Church was talking about it.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know anything about it, so I can't really add any more to it than that. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. Huh.
And
I mean, the star is very much. It's close to the mass of our sun. Tau Ceti is, and it is. It's a star kind of similar to the sun in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know, Laura. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she also wanted to ask, but how could that occur for all the life forms here? Example, animals, fish, flowers, man. As if we're working on it, so.
How could what occur?
I don't know, probably all sorts of different forms of life.
Well, I do want to make a comment about that too, and Laura, you can take this for what it's worth. I think one of the things I talk about when I go around the country and do talks, one of the things I talk about that's very important is there's a point in our history where we started to see life forms that began to develop a bilateral symmetry. When the life forms became more advanced, then that's when we saw that these life forms really all had this symmetry about their center line. The way they interacted with the environment, their world, was through symmetry. 2 arms, 2 legs. Hemispherical brain is internal, but it handles 2 different things. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils. All the animals seem to have this bilateral symmetry, all higher life forms. So the question was, where did that template come from? Why do all the millions of species have this bilateral symmetry that they're dealing with? And that's a huge one, to think about, because if it happened here, it'll happen elsewhere. The universe provided that template. In the same way it provided a template for carbon-based life. Carbon compounds were brought to this planet by all the things I mentioned before, and the Earth even made these compounds as well. Carbon-based life is what we look for, and that makes us what we call carbon bigots, or we have a carbon bias, I guess. But the truth is, if the universe is making these templates and is making it possible for us to actually get carbon-based life, then shouldn't we look for other carbon-based life? The answer is yes, we should, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So so from a template point of view, we have firm reason to believe that there's other carbon-based life out there, and so we can be carbon bigots. We can be carbon chauvinists like this if we want to. The fact is, we don't know. We don't know how much there is that we don't understand about the universe. Maybe there's other life forms. Maybe there's life forms that have a basis on silicone or something, or silicon. It's possible, but I don't know, and no one really does right now, and that's the beauty of it. I like not having answers, but I want to find them, and I guess that's what makes us the creatures that we are. So there.
Yay.
Yay.
And Elliot Astro Imaging, he wanted to know how he could send his images to us, but he just joined our Facebook group, so I think that would be a good start. And yep. I know he would love to join us one day, if weather permitting.
Oh, yeah.
So, see what he's all about, what he astro images.
Uh-huh. I agree with that.
And I love how the community's growing. We have this, obviously, Bill, who is probably still streaming. Yeah, he's actually Skywatcher gaming right now. He's been put in the corner for the next couple of weeks by courtesy of YouTube. So,
like I was.
Yeah, his official channel is Skywatcher New York. Oh my God,
Bill New York Skywatcher.
Bill NY Skywatcher. Right. If you're looking it up, but right now it's Skywatcher Gaming, and I'll throw that chat link in chat.
All right.
We have P&K Space Imaging. I think that's where Elliot first heard you. Is over at P&K. Okay. We have Dave over at Astro LiveStreaming.
Excellent. Yeah.
ALS. We have Take Back Space. We have Chris over there. He sings to us, so I'm a little biased. I like it over there. Who else? I feel like I'm missing someone, but So there's a lot of people that cover, either the moon and planets, meteor showers, like Mark with the deep space imaging. So it's a wonderful community. So
Yeah.
welcome to. I am seeing a few names here tonight, and a few names over at Bill's the other last few nights. So
Okay.
yeah, welcome everybody.
Yeah, thanks for coming by, guys. This is great. This is the Pac-Man Nebula, false color. And again,
Yeah, everything seems so bright. I mean, I like this for looking around the sky, but
well, I mean, if it's too bright, well, then you don't want to see this because that's what it really would be.
yeah.
Okay. I would actually endeavor to bring it down slightly. But this is really pushing the contrast a little too far. But I'm doing this just to show the object. It's actually, I'm very surprised that we've got this long out of the night because typically at this point the sky would be falling. We end up having all kinds of dew, and we're getting some. But you know what? It's. I think that we beat it.
Yay.
Yeah. And I can see Algol, which is Alpha Perseid, rising on the horizon. And all right, we'll come off. We're gonna come off. No, actually, I'm not gonna come off this yet. I want to do one more thing. I know, I'm crazy. Now that I got the night, I'm gonna just take advantage of it, right? All right. I'm gonna leave my tripod in here too, so that we can actually go over to the tripod now and then in our travels. And so what I'm going to do first is just, while you guys are looking at the Pac-Man Nebula, which is what that is, I'm going to just drop the tripod down and set it down. It doesn't need to be extended and taking up space.
And our good friend Charles has an interesting question. You were lucky enough to meet him at Pine Bush Round 2.
Right, it was Charles Smar.
Yes, sweetheart. And he wants to know what it would be like to have eyes that could see like this. I think it would be too much. Because then how would you ever be able to see normally, like if you were looking at someone across the room?
Well, presumably...
Like you'd be seeing beyond their pores,
Well, presumably you would end up actually having a eye system that would have evolved to have a method of stopping down bright light that enters it. Because you have to... We do that now. I mean, you squint when you look at the bright sun, So, you'll do that when you look
I can't hold both eyes open in the sun.
No, you squint. You close an eye, you squint. That's totally understandable. Oh, let's see what we got.
I figured my eyes were just really weak.
Oh, I don't think your eyes are weak. I don't know if I buy that your eyes are weak thing. That's sort of a that's sort of a cop out. I don't think there is such a thing as a...
You think I'm pretending?
No, I think that there's no such thing as weak eyes, so to speak.
Then
I don't know
why is it so
weak eyes
hard?
mean,
Why is it so hard for me to see far away?
Because you're nearsighted. You need glasses. I have glasses because I'm nearsighted.
Well, wouldn't that suggest that your eyes are weaker than maybe someone that can see normally without strain?
Yes. In that thinking, yeah, I wouldn't say that's wrong. In that way of thinking, So maybe, but
Well, that's all I meant.
well, I don't think there's such thing as weak eyes. I think people have their eyes are either 20/20 or they're something worse or slightly better. That's all. Not a big deal, eh? No, not a worry. Okay, let's go to this one. This way. I'm just going to try an object here that I haven't looked at before. Not sure if I can see it. It's actually fairly straight up. So if I can see it tonight, then that's the best position for it. So where those stars are, I increase. Maybe there. Well, let's just wait and see. Let's go see. All right, Captain. There we go. Now let me sit down. Whack the 400-pound thing over my head. Okay, so let's go check it out and see if we can see anything here at all. I don't know if we can, but this will be 25 seconds at 25,600 ISO. And we're going to try to look at this nebula that's very faint. We may not succeed, I warn you ahead of time, but that's what this is all about. SkyTour LiveStream is about trying to push our limits and find new things. Okay, well that was a mistake. I set the camera to the wrong setting again. I apologize and blew out your eyes. And now we're going to do 30 seconds at the real 25,600, not the 25 seconds at, or 30 seconds rather, at 256,000. Yeah, that extra zero makes quite a difference. The extra zero makes quite a difference, Brian, don't you know?
I haven't watched that show in so long.
Oh, well, aren't you a sticky wicket?
No, they finally did this skit that my jaw was on the floor. I'm like, okay, they can't top this. I'm done watching. They can't possibly get any worse than this.
What skit was that?
I can't.
You
We've
can't?
come too far into the show to get you banned now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't need to know.
It was the episode where Meg thought she was pregnant. It's a long time. I told you I haven't watched it in years.
Wow.
And she was lying on the couch and Peter told her to roll over and he was holding a coat hanger.
Yeah, and you're going to tell me anyway, aren't you?
You asked for it.
No,
and then I was
I
thinking
said I
it's
don't
too
need to
good, it's too
know.
funny.
Okay.
She was lying on his shirt. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Oh. That's funny. Okay, I'll be taking a run to the cable store tomorrow because I'm going to be picking up a new cable. I thought that, like Bill New York Skywatcher, my camera was failing. This dark screen you see that alternates like that comes and goes. That occurrence is due to the cable, not the camera circuit. So that's I'm very grateful for that. Actually, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to do a little processing on this. This is supposedly the Cocoon Nebula. It may be. I just have to try and get... Yeah, I see some of it. I see some of it there. Oh yeah, it's there. See that? You guys see that? Just above center to the left. We're seeing the Cocoon Nebula. It's that little nebula now in the main telescope, which is actually twice the size of this. We might actually be able to capture that with some details. So on a better night, we'll actually do that. Tonight is not that night. Yes, we have. We're not getting the crap, knocked out of us with the humidity tonight, which is why I'm staying open. But we are still having to fight water vapor in the air, and it's just really, really hard. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this because it's in a slightly more favorable position. When's the last time, when did we photograph the North American Nebula?
Seriously?
Wasn't it like an hour ago?
Oh, I thought you meant when was the last stream.
Oh, no.
Say 5 weeks and
yeah,
5 months, 3 weeks.
Well, that's why this one's an extended one. This is the extended stream for those of you that are counting. All right, so let's now let me just do a 4K view here for a minute. See if I can see what I'm trying to see. And I kind of, sort of. So we're going to drop down to 25,600, not 256,000. And we're going to do a 30-second shot here. Actually, no. I'm going to do a short shot. I'll do 10 seconds just as a placeholder to see if I can see what I want to get a hold of. And I don't care about disrupting the shot too much. I've got to just go back and get the processing cleaned off of this and go back to defaults. There we go. Okay, now I'm just taking a short placeholder shot to make sure I got my object. Telescope performs admirably. I'm really, really pleased. Alright, I'm going to actually just go, move this area. I can move it that way a little bit. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay, now I'm going to go to the 30 seconds at 25,600 ISO sensitivity. Ooh, 25,600, Brian. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, it's a plan story.
Do Consuela.
Okay.
Do Consuela.
No, you do.
That's so funny.
No, I stay. You're fired. No, I stay. Remember that?
I remember.
So funny. Okay, and let's just process that a little. I hope you guys like the dynamic processing that I've added to the process here. I'm taking the photos so we can kind of get a better idea what the finished image will look like. Astronomy is all about trying to get your finished images out and get them processed. And I think that, oh, look at that. Yeah, see, this is the Gulf of Mexico area of the North American Nebula. All right, again, it's wide angle. We're looking at an area that's, a little over 2 degrees wide overall. And it's sort of narrowed a little bit, but kind of interesting area. Nice. Actually, one of the areas that I want to focus on to show you is this area. Let me just get there. You're clacking away over there.
I am. That's what you pay me the big bucks for.
I know. There we go.
And it didn't even go through.
Yeah, you see now, right there, just right of center, you see that there's like a sharp, little sharp bit of nebulosity there. Oh, you know what? I also noticed that I'm not sure that it's in focus fully here. So that's something that I have to take care of, because I know that the camera will float in its focus now and then. Let me just move the telescope and bring a star into my view. There we go. Let's pull it over here.
Okay, and while you're doing that, Laura wants to know what the best novice telescope is to get.
That's a fantastic question. There are a couple of telescopes from the Orion company that are really quite good. And I would venture to say that you might want to consider one of the Orion telescopes. They usually are they're called go-to scopes, you know, GOTO, because they can go to objects in the sky. That's something that's very important too, especially for people that are just starting out. They want to be able to just find stuff and not be like some kind of experts on the sky when, you know, they may not be able to be. And that's something that I think would behoove someone to try. Okay, so let me just figure this out here. Okay, that looks like it's focused now. That looks nice, actually. Okay, I'm going to try this again. And we're going to go 25,600 for 30 seconds, just for fun. And I kind of kept us in the region of the North American Nebula, but it's going to be off a little bit because I just moved it around. But it's a little east-west, actually. No, north of the bay. So we should see the bay, but it'll be kind of north of it. The bay being like the Gulf of Mexico in the North American Nebula. I hope everyone's having fun, because I'm really happy. Oh, look at that. See, that came out nice. That's pretty. That's really pretty. Look at that. Yeah, see, this telescope is really good. Now, the color rendering you see, the purple halos around the stars, yeah, that's all garbage. We don't want that. And I get rid of that during the processing. But we're actually looking at a really, really pretty nebula here. And I'm pleased with it. Looks good. And it's in a good spot, too, because it's almost overhead. Even though it's sort of a nasty, moist night, we can still catch the object. Now, I'm going to go to another one that we've seen a few times before.
I want to go to the cat's paw.
I know you do.
I hear it's in Scorpion.
Well, that's impossible then, because Scorpius is not high enough if it's in Scorpius.
Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong then.
Maybe. Hang on, I'm just looking for something here. Yes, let's see this now. Okay.
Oh.
What's that?
It may have set by now. It's either low or set by now.
Yeah. Daryl tell you that?
I swear to God, I was just about to say, guess who I'm talking to.
I figured it was Daryl. That's good.
Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, thanks, Daryl. Thanks for coming, by the way. It's good to have you here.
Oh, he's been here the whole time.
I hope you're having a good time, Daryl, because I'm really just trying to make the best of the night.
I think everyone's enjoying themselves.
That's good.
There were a few people that were wanting to go to bed, but they just can't tear themselves away, so...
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Well, look, you know, when you see an image like this, okay, the North American Nebula, you know, it's a cloud of gaseous hydrogen too. You know, the singly ionized hydrogen. It's a star-forming region. It's an area that is unlike many others. It's just beautiful and it's extensive, and it's right in the central Milky Way. And speaking of that, we're now going to go to another area, and I have to actually turn down the exposure on this one because otherwise it'll be way too bright. So I'm going to come back off of 30 seconds, and we're going to go to, we'll try 10 at 10,000 with this particular telescope and see what we get. 10 at 10,000. And then you can tell me what you think it is. Well, actually, you've got to be able to see it. To do that, I gotta then. Sorry, I've got to remove the processing. It's right there in the center. You just cannot see it too well. Okay, let's set defaults here. There we go. And look what we got.
I know that.
You do?
I do.
All right, what you got?
I think I do. Is it the Dumbbell Nebula?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because it looks like an apple core.
Yeah. It doesn't look like a dumbbell?
Nah.
Now this is how the dumbbell looks in the wide field telescope, okay? So why don't we transfer immediately to the main scope and see what we have for the dumbbell in this. All right, just do this comparison right away and see what we get. I don't know actually if we're gonna have the dumbbell in the view. They are aligned with each other, but unfortunately, yeah, it is. It's there. It's just got a little bit low. I tried to align the telescopes with each other. I did okay. Okay. Okay, so we'll do this. I'll take this same exposure, same type of exposure. I'm not going to change the settings, and then you can see the difference between the 10-inch scope and the 5-inch refractor. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so I did 10 at 10,000, right? So
I don't remember.
yes, I did.
Okay.
All right, so let's get the dome out of the way here. Okay, now let's take this picture. 10 at 10,000, 10 seconds, 10,000 ISO sensitivity on the Dumbbell Nebula. And what do we get? We get this. Is that processed? Do I have any processing going here? No, I defaulted it all. Okay. So you can see that interesting thing happening here. Okay, when you look at a photo taken with a telescope like this, and you say, how come the object looks like it's dimmer in the bigger scope? Well, it's sort of a little bit of a conundrum, all right, a puzzle. And the reason is because when you have a wide field scope, the small objects look like they're dense, but they belie the fact that you have fewer pixels that are able to record the object. In a larger telescope, more pixels record the object. Keep in mind that in the other telescope that we in the other system here, we're looking at where is it? We're looking at that. Okay, so it looks bright, doesn't it? All right, but if we zoom in on this, if we zoom in on this, I'll show you. We find something. We find that, you see how it looks grainy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. that's because the same number, a much smaller number of pixels are being used to show the same object. Okay, and that makes them makes it look grainy. Now, if we come back to our photo here and we say, okay, instead of 10 seconds at 10,000, well, let's do 15 seconds at 12,500, or so 12,800. So 15 seconds at 12,800 with the main scope. And now when we do this, we'll see something a little bit different. And it'll be coming up momentarily. All right. Now you can actually see that we have more detail on our object. All right. We can start to see some more detail. Now, I'm also noticing what might be the ugly telltale signs of...
Don't say it.
Oh, do I dare?
Ah, sneaky.
All right, let me actually move it.
Move it away from the dew. Run
No,
away.
I'm moving it down so I can see. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I stepped on my cable again and almost yanked it out of my head. I hate that. Let me do this. Let's take it.
Every time you move, it sounds like you're smashing the place up.
Oh, that's this stupid chair. You know, I have the floor that I put in the observatory it's a corrugated flooring. So and that's of course to help with battle fatigue of your feet when you're out here for a long time, because you're on your feet a lot. And so, okay, that's good. So now I'm back to this, but let's take a look. Let's just take a look at the outside for a minute. Let's go to this setting, and let's go up and check stuff out. What do we got? Oh, actually, you know what? I'd rather do it this way. And oh, did you see that?
Is that a little moth?
It could have been. That was odd. There's Mars out there. There's Mars out there. Yep. Pretty. And there's the house.
Hi, house.
Yeah. So my observatory is not far from the house. You know? Yeah. And really looks nice. Actually, I'm going to change to manual mode so I can actually make use of a little bit better. Hang on. Here we go. There we go. So this is at ASA of 409,000. Okay, and you can see when we look up toward the Milky Way, you can clearly see the Milky Way coursing overhead here. See that? Very, very obvious, and that's Cygnus you're looking at right up overhead. See? And the North American nebula we're looking at is right there. That's where it is. Okay. And then we were looking at a few other nebulae. But if we go down the Milky Way like this, we come to an area that's... I got to turn down the brightness a little. We come to an area that's kind of bright. It's this area right here. Okay. Right, and that area is a place, it's called the Sagittarius star cloud. and it's really a very, very heavily populated area. Lots and lots of stars in there, and it's just gorgeous. And I'm pretty sure that you know, as our forays into the night sky carry on, we'll end up doing a lot more with this stuff. Because I've got dew on the optics, I'm going to be now moving back to the camera here. I did want to show you something else if I can get to it without stomping on everything here and smashing the place to pieces, as Amanda says. Okay, now let's look up here. Okay, alright, you know, let me turn this off. Okay, so, can you see the square in the sky?
Can I see the square?
Yeah, it's right there. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. See the square?
Okay.
Okay, if we go to the corner of the square, all right, the corner of the square here, and we go up. Oh, did you see that?
I did. Hold on.
And of course, I got in the way.
Zone 1.
I can't believe I was blocking it. All right.
This is why I like watching live, so I can give others a heads up.
Yeah. Yeah, and watch out for my hand. I got in the way. Yeah, but...
Yeah, I didn't have time to write right behind Mark's hand, but
yeah.
whatever.
Okay, so when we look at that square right there, okay, we go up, and this now we're in Andromeda, okay? And if we can zoom in a little bit, we can actually see where the Andromeda galaxy is. And let's see if I can see it. There it is. See the Andromeda galaxy?
I do.
That's a live view. I'm going to focus it now. There it is. Yeah, there's the Andromeda galaxy, guys. And that's how little it is in our sky. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah. But
I would not have even noticed unless he zoomed in and pointed it out.
yeah, well, that's true. It's not easy to see. Oh, look, clouds. How about that?
That's not what I wanted to hear.
I know, but...
Not after we just saw a shooter.
I know. And that shooter was probably the size of a grain of sand. No bigger.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, it gives you an idea how much energy is released when these things actually come into the atmosphere.
Well, how... Okay, yeah, they're in our atmosphere. How... I don't know. I don't know if I should say far or close. How close are they to us? Way closer than stars, right? They're in our atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. There's no stars that are in our atmosphere or even closer. You're right. Correct. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cover. Oh, I was going to show you this too, and I didn't. This is actually what I was going to show you guys. That's the whole point of putting the camera here for now. I want to come up to the telescope and show you. This is the opening of the telescope. All right. And you can see dew is forming on the... See it?
I see.
Yeah. So that's the end of the scope, and it's got dew forming on the glass, and that's the killer. We can't have that, you know. And so I'm going to have to cover it and get rid of let the dew evaporate, which it will through the cover, and then we can come back to it another stream. But boy, I'm telling you, this has been kind of fun, hasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I had a good time because we were talking about all kinds of really interesting stuff. Let me just move our view this way. You can't even see, to the naked eye, you can't even see any clouds. Okay? But yet there they be, right there. There they be. So, now, Cassiopeia is now way up there. You see the W?
Mm-hmm.
Cassiopeia right up there. And now we zoom out, and okay, now we're looking at Perseus, which is there. Okay, and there's Cassiopeia, and then Perseus is right down there. And it's right near Andromeda. And Andromeda, which comes out of Pegasus, which is the square we talked about. Okay, Andromeda comes out of Pegasus and touches Perseus over here. And that's prophetic because of the mythology there of Andromeda and so forth, and Perseus, and how they were, I forget whether they were betrothed to each other or whatever. That's an Amanda question. She'll take care of figuring that out for everybody.
Yeah, well, and actually Daryl was reciting some of the story too.
Oh, cool.
And is that not what Clash of the Titans was based on? That
yeah.
Cassiopeia was Andromeda's mother and was bragging that she was the most beautiful. And then Zeus made Cassiopeia, the mother, chain up Andromeda so the whale could eat her, but I forget the whale's name.
Cetus.
Cetus, yeah. I was working on it. And then, but Perseus was going to save her.
Well, we talked about Tau Ceti, and that's, that's the, Tau is the, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, pi, omicron, pi, rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, keep, psi, omega. So Tau is down the list in brightness.
And Perseus cut off the head of Medusa.
That is correct.
And then now I heard that Perseus and Andromeda had several children, and they are known as the Perseids, which is where the meteor shower is happening, in the Perseids.
Well, the Perseids is the name of the meteor shower.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Named after the children.
Wow. We actually got this just in time, guys, because now, we actually now have a, it's a bit more, motorcycle going down the street. Hello.
Woo!
Big cometary tail.
I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I like the setting I'm using now because I can actually do some much deeper kind of perusing of the sky this way. Again, I can turn night into day with this camera, so it's that's my front yard at midnight. No moon. Okay, that tree right there, that tree is in the dark. Okay. So, but look, we got a nice sky here. No doubt about it. I'm really pleased with it, and I think the observatory views are worth it. But again, once I get this moved to Arizona, that's going to be a whole new ball game. Whole new ball game. And by the way,
T-minus 2 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2 years. I'm going to be out there for 10 days at the end of October, like I said. And the folks that are going to be, they're very nice. They're going to actually loan me one of their cars to drive around for the whole time I'm there, so that I can go out and check out land and other homes and other places. My intent is to get property. I just want property and a trailer. It doesn't even have to be a big thing. The trailer is going to be the warm room. It's going to be the place where I operate the observatory out of. And when I'm there, and then when I'm not there, I just need electrical and internet connection so that I can actually operate the telescope remotely from wherever I am in the country. There's Algol and Murphak in Perseus over there. And you can zoom way in. Hey, look at us go. You know, Algol, Murphec, and Perseus are two of the stars in the constellation. It's pretty. Very pretty. Actually, between Cassiopeia, W of Cassiopeia here, between here and here, okay, which is where Algol and Murphec are, you have that very faint little object right there. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the double cluster in Perseus. And it's a beautiful cluster of stars. And I think that I might be able to show that to you in the telescope here. I gotta just negotiate the whole thing here. So let me just turn down the brightness for a minute and just get out of this high brightness stuff for a minute. I'm going to be able to show you something, and to do it, I need to get back over to the telescope. All right, so first things first. First, let's take the telescope. First, let me sit down so that I don't fall down here. I'm juggling cords and stuff here right now. And let me just go in here and let me find our double cluster. Oh, is it really 107?
For you.
Oh, man. I'm out here too long. Okay. Yeah, let me just do this. Can't believe I'm out here that long. Then again, I can, you know. All right, there's that. Pegasus. And let's get up to the double cluster. All right, there we go. And now let's go there. Okay. So you can see the telescope, but you can't. There you go. You can see the telescope moving up to it now.
I hope you took the cap off.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's that. Okay, so now, that said, I'm going to take the telescope and put the lens with filter back on to the camera. And I'm going to do that to it right this time. There we go. That's it. You got to hear that click. All right. And then it goes into this guy here. But he has to be focused, so I've got to focus it. Oh, I got to get it in a mode where I can focus it. Huh? Don't tell me. Okay.
You said your battery was exhausted,
Oh,
but I thought...
Yes, it is. How about that? Okay. Well, let's do this. Let me, that's... Uh-oh. Okay, well, did I go through 3 batteries tonight? I may have.
You might have.
I did go through 3 batteries tonight.
So, who's in trouble, Hunter?
Yes. I should never have had to go through 3 batteries. Alright, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this one out and see if there's any guts left on this other one for a moment. All I need is a moment. No. But,
1 moment, please.
Right. Let me try something though. Let me, maybe I can get one shot here. I'll get one shot off. Just want to show you. 10,000 for 13 seconds. Oh, it's not even focused. I'm not even focused on it all. Ay. Okay. It's just probably gonna have to be, I don't want to make it another night, but probably gonna end up being, oh wait, I just saw something. Hold on.
I see stars.
I see stars. Okay, let's make sure we're focused. Alright, and are we focused? We are focusing. Boom. Okay, there we go. Alright, 13 seconds, 10,000, go. Let's do something here. I want to show you the double cluster, so I want to show you. With this scope, with the rich field 5-inch. Whoa. Now that is pretty. Pretty off center. Okay, I can find it. Oh. Alright. Well, I'll take that battery out and try this one. Oops. Oh. Still out. Okay, let me try. Alright, let's try that. Alright. One more time. Can we take a little photo just before this runs out? Say 15 seconds. At 10,000. Go. It's still your turn. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Then I gotta go in and go to bed. Look at that. See, now that is the double cluster. Look at that. You see how rich that is? That is a rich, rich cluster.
I like these colors.
Yeah, it's very rich. I'm going to drop it down to... I'm going to drop it down the battery exhausted. You know what? I think it's trying to tell me something. Alright, folks, you know what? I want to thank you for your attention tonight. I had a good time. I'm going to process, just so you know, I'm going to process those photos of the Andromeda galaxy. And I'm going to have them up for you so we can check them out if you want to and look at them. I'm really happy you guys joined me tonight to hang out for a while. It turned out to be a long while. I'm going to get everything back on the telescope like it belongs. I got all kinds of things all wrapped up in everything. I don't know how that all happened, but it did. There we go. Cable. Yeah, cable. I hope you enjoyed the whole live views from inside the observatory.
And I just put the link for our Facebook group in the chat again. So okay, when Mark is done processing all these pictures, he's going to put them up in there so you can take a look and add them as wallpaper or background or just play around, see what kind of processing you can do with them.
Play darts with them, whatever you want to do.
Play connect the dots.
Yeah, connect the dots. Play Connect 4.
You can print them out and paint your own constellations.
That's right. You can do Connect 4. You know.
No, you could on Pegasus.
That's right.
Ah,
Very good.
that was an astronomy joke.
It was. It was a good one too. You were actually correct on that. You know. You do a good job. You do. You do a fine job. You know. You've learned quite a lot in your tenure here.
I try.
Yeah.
Tenure. Ooh, does that mean I can't be fired?
Well, that was what I was implying, that you have tenure here. You don't need to worry about that.
Haha.
Okay, I gotta really focus on one thing now, and that's not an astronomy joke. I have to seal up the back end of the scope here. If I had a battery, I'd show you what I was doing. I'm actually putting a cover on the back end. And we have clouds moving in, actually, so this is good timing.
Yeah, good.
Very good timing. Okay, I got that cover on the lens, which has to go there. We've had a spate of bears breaking into people's houses and, you know, going after people in their houses. So we're trying to be a little cautious about that now. So I might be making noise when I leave tonight. You know, hey, what's going on?
There's been bear sightings on my street too.
Yeah, bears don't like noise. You know, Dems don't like noise.
And just so you know, after this wraps up, Bill at Game Watcher or Skywatcher Gaming. I'm trying to remember the new one at Skywatcher Gaming. Yes. And I'm putting the link in chat. Skywatcher Gaming.
Is he streaming?
He is still streaming. He said he was planning on going for quite a while, and he's going to be at it all weekend. I am going to go out on a limb and say KGRA will probably be live streamed this weekend because Bill wants to catch all the action. I think Elliot said he was going to try to grab some views if he could, so it's going to be lots of action out there this weekend. So hopefully, good luck to everybody who is watching the Perseids.
Yeah, we'll set up again in the observatory. It's better for the camera because we can actually set up inside the observatory, have the camera out of the dew, and you know, we get an extra hour or two just keeping the camera out of the water. You know, I know that you know, I was talking to Keith the other day for P&K Space Imaging, and Keith is actually you know, was actually saying how he had his camera outside for literally less than 45 minutes, and it just immediately, you know, after 45 minutes, it just covered up with so much dew that he had to call it a night.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's typical, you know. That's what happens. You know, dew ain't cool. You know, do you do the dew? No, I don't do the dew. I'm sorry. I've done the dew and watched my telescope go kaploo.
Oh, no.
You know, I'm not going to do the dew. It's like, I ain't going to do the dew no more. No more. Yeah, don't take the chances. But anyway, folks, I want to thank you guys for coming. And I'm going to sign off now tonight. And we will be back the next clear night. And if we can do some more with the Perseids, we are gonna. So you guys take care of yourselves. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for coming.